understand that we get one chance, one chance. You will never regret the things that we'll do. 'Cause I wanna drive through the summer night, and when we are old and gray, we'll look back at this summer night, this summer night, this summer night, this summer night, this summer night. Someday we will look back, and our hearts will be whole again. I want to remember all that happened to us. 'Cause I wanna drive through the summer night, and when we are old and gray, we'll look back at this summer night, this summer night, this summer night. This summer night, this summer night, oh, this summer night.
You say all the right things when I'm hurting. You always pick me up when I am down. It's like you have a spark that leaves me burning. Yeah, you just have your ways to get me high. You make all my dreams come true. It feels right when I'm around you. We could break up and then make up. I always come back to you. You move me in a way never thought anyone could. You get me high. You're my drug when I am feeling blue. Yeah, it's all you. 'Cause you're the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah, the one. You touch me in a way that makes me shiver. Sometimes I can't believe that you are mine. Love's gonna be beyond my trigger. You kiss me in a way that gets me high. You make all my dreams come true. It feels right just being around you. We could break up and then make up. I always come back to you. You move me in a way never thought anyone could. You get me high. You're my drug when I am feeling blue. Yeah, it's all you. 'Cause you're the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, you're the one, babe. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah, you're the one, babe. Yeah, you're the one. Ooh. 'Cause you're the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah, the one. 'Cause you're the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah, the one.
You're so the one. Good evening, everybody. It is Friday, and it is another episode of Beyond the Doll. Let's switch cameras over. Hold on one second. Hey, there we go. Hello, welcome, everybody. Welcome to my channel for another episode of Beyond the Doll. As always, I am your host, Shizu-san, and my assistant is actually off camera. You can't see them. Well, you could kind of see them. There's like a tiny little bit of them poking out on the camera. But I mean, regardless, other than that, I do have an assistant with me today, and they are going to be the topic of today's episode as I have a brand new doll. So we will be doing a pseudo unboxing because she doesn't come in a box. But we're going to do an unveiling. Let's do that. A debut or an unveiling of a new doll that I got that is not of the normal type of dolls that I usually get, but also not one that I wasn't opposed to getting. It's just I was waiting for the right one, and one unknowingly came into my hands. It was gifted to me, so we will get into that in a minute and talk about that doll. But before we do that, I just want to make sure I'm gonna put the music on in the background just so that we have something playing. There you go. Just got something to like fill like the silence in between when I'm not saying anything. Okay, so yes, if you guys didn't know, a couple weeks ago I went to a convention with a bunch of my friends, which was the Thy Geekdom Con convention, which I can show you guys real quick. It was this one. It was Thy Geekdom Con. It was May 23rd to 25th. It was quite a ways ago, but I during that time when I was there, hanging out with friends and talking and meeting new doll people at the same time, one of my good closest doll friends has gifted me a doll. I don't know actually if I don't know if they said if I have permission to say who. So I guess for an abundance of caution, I just won't mention that person's name, only because I didn't get permission, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say their name live or not. It's not somebody you guys haven't met. I mean, you've met this person many times on my channel before. I just don't know if they were okay with me saying, hey, you know, this person. So one of my good friends has gifted me a doll that I have, one of the dolls actually that I have been looking for quite some time. So I know you guys didn't ask for this, but I'm going to give you a backstory anyways, just because I feel like it makes more sense if I give like a little context to it. As most of you know, on my channel, this has always been pretty much about vinyl dolls the entire time. Like most of my content centers around Dolphy Dreams and Smart Doll, a little sprinkle here and there of A-Zone, but majority of the time my topic was always about vinyl dolls. Most of my friends, if not all of my friends, are vinyl doll collectors and resin doll collectors, if that's a hint. But I never really got into the resin scene. The style of the dolls wasn't really it didn't really speak to me. I didn't really enjoy the style that much of the dolls. I do enjoy, like, you know, people's passion for it and the way they dress their dolls, at least in the beginning. And it's just like anything else. It's the same thing with vinyl dolls. I didn't like the vinyl dolls when I first saw them. I thought they were creepy, and I did not like them. And it kind of took some time, because I'm the kind of curious person that's just like, well, why are people collecting these things anyways? You know, they're so expensive, they're a little creepy, blah, blah, blah. So I kept doing some research, I kept looking into it, and I ended up really liking vinyl dolls in the end, and that's why I have this channel. In a way, the same thing happened to me with resin dolls. So I have a very good friend that actually I met through a doll group that lives very close to me here in Jersey, and they are a huge collector of resin dolls. And you know, they would always bring their vinyl dolls to doll meets, and they would always bring their resin dolls to doll meets as well. And there was one resin doll in particular that they brought that actually spoke to me. I was just like, this is so cute. I really like this doll. So my plan was to get that doll at some point in my doll collecting career, which is the one that I have graciously been gifted, that I'm going to reveal to you guys or debut to you guys today on stream. But before we do that, just continuation of the story. It never came to pass for me buying that doll. One, because there's a lot of vinyl dolls that kept coming out that I really wanted, so I just didn't have extra funds to dive into the resin scene. Two, when they started announcing the Disney princesses, I was like, well, no, actually, I should hold off on that, but you guys know it's coming. Two, when I went to Japan, I had a goal to do the dream, what they call it, the first choice, the full choice system in Japan. Basically, it's the same thing as Dolphy Dream Choice, where you build your own doll, but you get to build your own resin doll. So when I was in Japan in 2019, that was one of my goals. I'm finally going to get a resin doll. I'm going to get the one I've been wanting for so long. And then I went there, and then I was like, yeah, I was at Volks, and I was like, yes, I would like to do the full choice system and build my own resin doll. And they were like, nope. I was like, wait, I'm sorry. Maybe there's like a translation issue or something. I was like, I want to buy a doll, but I want to build it. You know, I want the FCS, the full choice system. I figured they knew what that meant. And they were like, oh, and then they were like, no. I was like, wait, what? Okay, you said no twice. So I really think you mean it this time. but I didn't speak Japanese, and I could tell their English wasn't really like, their English was just as good as my Japanese. Like, we both had a hard time speaking to each other. So I was trying to figure out, like, I was like, well, why? Like, I was trying to ask the lady, like, why can I not purchase? And then they explained to me in not so many words, because again, my Japanese was not so good and their English wasn't so good. So, you know, we were trying to work with each other as patiently as we could. And the long story short, they were like, you need to be a Japanese resident in order to build a doll here for the full choice system. They were like, you can buy a doll if you would like a already made doll. And I was like, no, I want to build it. Like, I have a specific doll in mind I want to build. And they were like, no, sorry, you got to be a Japanese resident. So I ended up not building a doll. I ended up buying a second doll. Like, I already did a Dolphy Dream Choice when I was there, but I ended up buying a Decor doll when I was there, which was Hanamaru, which is my young mini Dolphy Dream with the pink hair. And the Dream Choice was the mini Dolphy Dream with blue hair. So I got both my mini Dolphy Dreams on that trip instead of one vinyl and one resin. Fast forward like a year or two, I think they announced that they were doing the Disney princesses. And then that's when I was like, okay, well, I wasn't able to build my doll, so I will hold out for a Disney princess doll to be my very first resin doll. And I'm holding out, and you see Rapunzel come out, Cinderella's coming out, you know, you had Anna and Elsa coming out, you had Little Mermaid coming out. I'm waiting for Belle. That's the doll that I want from the Disney princess. I really want Rapunzel too, but I wanted my first doll to be Belle. And nothing has happened. Like, it's been quite a number of years now since the last Disney princess, which was Ariel. I think she was like 3 years ago now for Ariel. And we've just had no information on any future Disney princesses. So, I mean, if they don't make any more Disney princesses, and Ariel was the last one, that means obviously I can't have Belle. But I have my own resin now. I have been graciously gifted or inherited or adopted, as you can say, a new resin doll. And new to me, it is a rescue doll, and it is the one that I've always wanted. So I do have her here. Again, like I said, it's not a true unboxing video, because let me change this now because we don't need to talk about that geekdom anymore. It's not a true unboxing video because she didn't have a box. I was gifted her, or adopted. I adopted her is another way of putting it. So she just kind of like came as is. She is dressed in an outfit already. I didn't put on her wig or anything. I literally received her, and then I didn't do anything with her because I was waiting to do it live on stream. I didn't do any research whatsoever prior to this stream about this doll or about resin dolls, because I wanted this experience to be 100% brand new, and I wanted to learn things as I'm learning it with you. So this might be a boring video for a lot of you if you already know stuff about resin dolls, but if you are part of my audience that doesn't know anything about resin dolls and you've only collected Dolphy Dreams or Smart Dolls, maybe this will be interesting for you, something to learn, as I will be learning it today, same as you. I did do a little things here and there with her, just trying to figure out, like, you know, if I'm gonna film her, what parts can I film, what can I show, what can I not show, like what's gonna be easy or hard to do. And I've learned I can't get her undressed. So I really want to show you the body of the doll, like, you know, in all its glory. And I don't mean that by nakedness of a doll. I just mean, like, I wanted to show you how the joints work and, like, you know, where they meet, what it looks like. But I can't get the dress off. And I will explain that to you. And maybe you guys that know a little bit on stream can kind of give me some pointers as we go along. So I'm going to grab her now. I'm going to put her on screen. Let me do full screen for you guys. By the way, PMB Sakura, Jay Luisa, welcome to the stream. PMB Dream Choice is so much fun. I have to say, being able to choose all your pieces exactly how you want is so much fun. I wish I could have done that for the full choice when I was there, but unfortunately I couldn't. And Jay Luisa, welcome to the stream, and thank you for the welcome to the resin world. Hopefully, this will lead to a foray into most other resin things. I don't even know if I said that right. That didn't make sense. Okay, so we are on full screen. Placebo, welcome to the stream. To me, resin strung BJDs feel more real per se when they spring into action. It's kind of cute when they move on their own by accident. Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about, Placebo, because before, like, setting up for this stream today, I've encountered that quite a few times. So I know exactly what you mean. For those of you who don't know, you will know in the stream. You'll find out. So I'm going to get her because she's on this stand, which is not really made for her, but I just kind of put her on a stand thing. Okay, you guys can kind of see her head poking out. So this is her. This is my new resin doll. Hey, say hi. Oh, see, there she goes. She's just reacted. She's like, I'm going to do the robot. And her joint just kind of went like thing. And then now she wants to, now she wants to bend down. Okay, wait. This is very new to me, people, because vinyl dolls don't do this. Like, I hold them and they just kind of stay still. So she has, for those that are not familiar with resin, because we don't encounter this with vinyl dolls in the vinyl doll community. We don't have faceplates like this little mask thing. This is to protect their face because a lot of these resin dolls, from my understanding, are hand-painted faces. They're not like kind of spray-on like the vinyl dolls are, but also because a lot of these dolls have they have eyelashes as well on them. So you don't want in transit the eyelashes to get torn off or anything. It's also because it's resin, so you don't want the faces to get scratched up. Although that part is not too different from vinyl, because you don't want your vinyl dolls' faces getting scratched up either. So I think that just as a good practice, I think for the future, if you could buy these face masks, which you can, they are online, I think I'm going to start using them for my vinyl dolls as well, because I think that it's just a good idea overall. I kind of like this idea of the clear face masks, and I think we should start doing them for our vinyl dolls as well. But removing the face mask here, so I'm just gonna, it's just styrofoam and tape. That's really all that's holding it in place, is styrofoam and tape. So there she is. So here is the wonderful doll. I didn't name her yet. She does not have a name, but I don't know if you guys can see her. She's super cute. She's very short. So this is, if hold on, if I'm doing this correctly. Oh, Tempest Strife, welcome to the stream. Just driving home. Be able to chat more soon. D&D finished. Oh, please drive safely, Tempest. Don't be paying attention and chatting like while you're driving. Please get home safe. There is no real rush. Now, this is the, if I get it right, because I don't know if it's written anywhere on the body of the doll, but this is an SDFM 48 or 45. I forget the numbers. I don't remember the numbers, but she's an SDFM 45 or 48. One of those numbers. Like I said, I'm really bad with resin, so I don't know. All I know is that I saw this doll from one of my friends, and I've always wanted my own because she's super cute. Let's go to the, so this is her dress. It's like her little outfit, but that she came with. But let's go to the table view so that you guys can see her a little bit better. Okay, so here we are in the table view. I'm gonna bring out her head. So, oh, I should have fixed this. Hold on. I'm gonna fix this right now, guys. 1 second. I could have sworn I did the flip screen. I guess I didn't. There we go. So this way it looks much better for you guys on camera. So this is her face. Let's get this the right way. Focus. Look at her. She's so cute. I love her face. She's so innocent looking. Focus. Focus, camera. Focus. Oh my gosh. There we go. A little bit better. No. See, this is what I hate about autofocus cameras, man. They don't always autofocus the way you want them to. Let me see if I could adjust it. 1 second. We are doing this on the fly, people. Like, I just... where's the autofocus? I want to turn it off. Haha, camera control. Focus auto off. Yay. Okay, let me see if this helps. Okay, so here's her face. And if we do focus... Okay, that's way too blurry. Alright, guys. I think that worked. Right there. Look at her. Yeah, I think that worked. So we're going to leave it on this focus. So she won't be too in focus when she's too far, but here we go. So yes, this is her. She is an SDFM 48 or 45. I don't know the numbers. But she's so cute. Look how innocent her face is. So adorable. And I don't know if you could see it on camera. Let me see. But you could see if you look at the side, you see her eyelashes? Like she has actual eyelashes on there. And her face makeup is so gorgeous. Like a little lip gloss on her lip. Super cute. Look at this face. So let's see. The right side of her face, she kind of looks like she's looking away. But on the left side of her face, she kind of looks towards you. So she has kind of like this... She kind of looks at you from the left side a little bit better. Of course, this can always be adjusted. We can open her up and adjust her head. But that is her face. Then if we go to the back... So this is something that vinyl dolls don't have as well. She has like a plate. Like it says SD... And there's like a social security number or something like that, or serial number on her head. I don't know if this is good or bad to show this on stream because now everybody has my serial number. So I really don't know how much that affects, you know, like your doll. But like, okay, guys, don't screw me over if that does. But yeah, she has like a little insignia. Now, vinyl dolls do not have this because this top part is removable and it's squishy. And I think if you were to do that, it won't really work. But you could technically put it here on a vinyl doll's head because this part never really opens, closes, or moves or anything. So I feel like you could do it there, but I think it's just a really neat, cool thing that you can have. Now, some doll companies, like Smart Doll, they'll put like a little thing inside the head that will... It's like a quality control sticker, so to speak. But they don't really have like numbered units. So this one actually has like her own like numbered kind of thing. And... Gonna have to... Okay, so yeah, she's super cute. Like you guys could see in the little corner, you see her legs up here on my chest. It's because I don't have a lot of space, so in order for me to show her on the camera, she has to be sitting like really awkwardly to be on the table camera. But yeah, this is her face. I really like her makeup. I like her look. Super cute. Now the head does come off, like the cap, just like any other doll, but I'm going to try to remove it. See if I can take it out. Am I doing something wrong? No, there we go. So, opening her up, right here in the back, you have the magnet, because on the top of her head, there is a magnet. So that's kind of what keeps it closed. I don't know what this is. This little thing here. I assume, by the way that the groove is, you see this groove here? that's what latches on onto the inner side, and then you just kind of lock it in place. So very easy to remove and take off. Now on the underside, there really isn't much here on the underside, just grooves that kind of keep it in place so it doesn't like slide around once it's on the head cap, and you could see those grooves right here on each side of the head. So this way the head cap doesn't slide around. Now inside the head, which we're technically doing brain surgery right now, guys. This is brain surgery. Inside the head, I don't know if you can see it, but it is stamped on the inside. SDMF on one side of the head right here. It's kind of stamped. You probably won't see it because it's one of those, like, how do you describe it? It's like a stamped in thing, but there's no color to it. So it's not going to get picked up on camera, but it is right here. I have like, kind of like how you have a VIN number stamped on a car. So we have this on the doll. And then on this side, there's something else stamped on the other side, but I can't read it. I don't know what it says. And then the eyes, you could see right here in the front, they are hot glued in. So you can always just, you know, warm up the hot glue, pop them out, and then, you know, change the eyes or realign them in any which way that I choose to do so. Now this top part here is the little metal thing keeping it in place. So unlike vinyl dolls, again, I know this is going to be boring for people who are already in the resin scene, but this is my first foray into the resin hobby. Oh, Tempest says it's embossed. Parked and at home now. Get inside the house, girl. What's it called? So this little like metal thing is kind of like what's holding all the rubber bands in place. So if you're new to resin and you're a vinyl collector and only a vinyl collector so far, you really wouldn't know. But they, you know, like you've heard from other people probably, and you may have seen from other people that are vinyl resin collectors that they don't have an internal skeleton. These dolls actually have rubber bands inside that keep it all together. Like these, the top part, the head is the anchor. This is like the anchor point. Every single piece of this rubber band or elastic, thank you, Jay Louisa. The elastic goes in through the arms, through the torso, through the legs, through the whole body. And all those elastics are strung throughout and then all ends up here at the top. And this is what's keeping everything all tensioned together, so to speak, to make all the joints tight. Because again, if they're loose, then the doll's just going to start flopping around and they're not going to be able to hold any of their poses. So we will have this anchor point, which I am not going to mess with because I know nothing about this stuff. I know nothing about it. I'm not going to mess with it. I know Tempest is going to be there for me to walk me through stuff, but I'm not doing anything other than showing you guys here. Okay, so this is the top of her head. That is the rubber band and the anchor point for that. And you'll see these like little like S-hooks throughout the doll. Mostly it's going to be in the ankles and the wrists because that's kind of like where you have interchangeable parts. I think the rest of it is just string all throughout, like the elastic all throughout. And I think you're only going to see these S-hooks at the wrists and the ankles, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me, anybody, if I'm saying anything wrong. So we're going to put our head cap back on. There you go. I have to say, this head cap is so easy to take on and take off, and I don't worry about it like falling off because that magnet's keeping in place. I really wish I could say the same about vinyl, because some vinyl dolls, getting that head cap off is a pain in the butt, but getting it back on is even worse because you have to kind of squish it and like move it, and like this is so easy. Like it's just like, bam, 2 seconds and then put it on. Oops, sorry. The magnet clipped before I could put the thing on. Okay, so now I misspoke because now I can't get it on. So there we go. I got the little groove on the inside like messed up. But yeah, her head's back on. Yay. Brain surgery over. So this is her. Now, because that rubber band is holding her head in, it kind of keeps some kind of tension for her to hold, you know, in place of wherever it is that you want her pointing. Kitten Cat Shop, welcome to the stream, Kitten Cat Shop. But sometimes, depending on where you put it, like if I put her head like this, okay, she can kind of hold the pose. But sometimes she like pops back up because I'm like pushing her head forward, and the elastic sometimes will pull it back the way it is. There's also on the back of her neck. So if you could see her neck here, it's just like vinyl dolls for the neck. So it's cut out the same. The only difference I notice is in the back of her head. So if I take off this top part of the dress, this part on the back of the neck, the way that it's cut here is deeper, in my opinion, than it is on a vinyl doll. So it's one of the things I notices. So notices? That's not even a word. So see, right now the rubber band wants her head to go forward. Like I can't keep her head back. But when you move her head to look up, this extra piece, which vinyl dolls do have, but it's not as big as this. It's a little bit more subtle. This is like a little bit longer, and it stops the head from looking all the way up, from what I could tell. Like it just hits the neck, and it stops it from letting the doll look all the way up. So there is that limitation. Whereas with vinyl dolls, you can kind of get away with this because this back part is not as long, so you don't run into it hitting. But if you do end up having it hit on a vinyl doll, you can kind of loosen the head a little bit off the peg, and then it gives it more range of motion to move up. Where with this, because it's rubber banded in, you can't loosen the head to make it look up, or at least not that I could tell. Again, I'm brand new to this. I know nothing about this. I am learning this live on stream with you guys. So we're gonna button her up, her dress. There we go. But that's one of the things that I noticed about these dolls that's slightly different from like a vinyl doll. Another thing that's different is that you'll notice that the ears protrude out more on these dolls. On the vinyl dolls, if you have a Volks doll, like a Dolphy Dream vinyl doll, the ears do protrude out quite a bit, but not as far as this. But also the back of the head... Oh, I just turned around too. The back of the head of a Dolphy Dream, the ears are a little bit more folded in. It doesn't really come out as much as it does on these resin dolls, from what my experiences at least. She's so delicate. I feel like I should be wearing white gloves for this. But yeah, this is my cutie. I don't know a name for her yet. I'm still trying to think of a name. So chat. Also, if you want me to call in and chatter about her, I can. If I thought about that earlier, I probably would, Tempest, but I don't have the call-in function set up. And in order for me to set it up, I would have to stop the stream. I should have thought about that before, Tempest. Kitten Cat Shop says, evening. Sorry, late. You need Kips, which is silicone washers. What do I need the silicone washers for? I don't know what I need silicone washers. Can you elaborate on that, Anna? J. Louisa says you need silicone Kips or the low temperature hot glue sueding, or even moleskin. Do you mean that for like the eyes, like taking the eyes out? Like it's not hot glue? You need Kips or silicone washers. Some you can adjust the S hook in the head to alter her head tilt. Really? Okay. Well, I don't have that. But that is good information to have. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that there is a way to adjust the S hook to alter the tilt. But yeah, so far the way that it's adjusted currently, she can pretty much move any way she wants to move. That's not an issue. It's just more so like if she wants to look up. I can't make her look up very well due to that. But most of the time, at least for me, I don't know about the rest of you guys, when she's on display, she's not really looking up per se. She's kind of like looking eye level at you. So I don't normally will run into that problem. And usually when we have dolls on display, when we go to conventions or doll meets, they're usually looking down because they're on like a shelf or a table that's higher than eye level view. So most of the time I don't have them looking up at you anyway. So that's not really much of a concern for me, at least. I don't know about anybody else. Let's see. So the neck and the joints are as kicky. I mean, you mean aren't as kicky. Keeps joints in a pose. Oh, okay. So silicone washers will keep the joints in a pose. Now those silicone washers, they go inside the joints or outside the joints. And what I mean by that is, let's see, if we're gonna go here, because it's easier to show the legs. So here's the joint. You mean the silicone washers go over the outside of this knee joint, or are they on the inside of them? Because this is another thing I wanted to talk about, and we're going to talk about it on the legs because I can't get the arms off. So, okay, stop flashing everybody, girl. Okay, so here's the thing that I ran into. Before the stream, I wanted to get her undressed so I can show you guys everything. Oh, so Jay Louisa says inside. Around the string between the joints. Okay, thank you for clarifying. I will have to ask Tempest to help me with that because that would require me taking out the strings in order to do so. So I would need some assistance with that. I don't have the proper tools to do this myself, and nor have I ever done it myself, and I don't want to screw it up because it's the only resin doll I have. They are midpoint bead between the thigh and calf beads in example. Okay, so here's the thing I wanted to talk about, right? I'm going to go on the bigger camera so you guys can see. So I wanted to get her undressed so that I can show you her body and her joints, and we could talk about the joints on this doll. So, like, see, she can keep her pose because of the tension of the elastic inside, so she can hold it. That's fine. But her hand, these cute hands, I love these hands, like kind of hands, right? Or like, oh, like kind of hands, right? Like, I feel so weird doing that. They have these hands. I can't get the dress off because the sleeve cannot go over the hands, right? But you can remove the hands. Just like vinyl dolls, you can remove the hands. Here's the problem I'm running into. Before the stream, I tried to remove the dress. So, going back to the table view, the problem I had with this, right, with the hands, if you look at it here, if I pull, okay, I don't want to twist your hand in the wrong way. Okay, if I pull this, you guys will see the rubber band, right? Okay, I figured out a way to get the rubber band off the hook, so I can you know, pull the sleeve out, right, and get the arm out of the sleeve. So the problem is, if I take this rubber band off the hook, the rubber band is gonna go into the arm. It's gonna like it's gonna slide into the arm. Now what I did was I took like I took like a, what is it, like a toothpick kind of thing. Like, it wasn't really a toothpick, it was just like this like wooden dowel for like carpentry, and I put it in the rubber band so that it wouldn't, so the rubber band wouldn't go into the arm and I wouldn't be able to retrieve it, right? But the problem is, with that wooden thing going across, I still can't get the arm out of the sleeve because the wooden thing is now protruding out of the wrist, and I can't get the the sleeve around the wooden peg. So I couldn't get the dress off, and I really wanted to take the dress off so I could show you guys the joints like in more detail. But at the very least, I can show you the hand joint. So it, just like a vinyl doll, you'll be able to move them, you know, in every which way that you want to, and they turn, you know, they turn and they slide. So, you know, it does like all the things. And to be quite fair, vinyl dolls are modeled off of this. This is where they got the idea for the vinyl dolls, is the same thing, because these dolls came first. The resins came first. So it's very much so just like a vinyl doll in its operation. Okay. The only difference is that it has the rubber band inside, which I can't remove. So I was trying my best to figure out a way where I can hold on to the rubber band and to remove the sleeve. So the other thing I tried to do was I got pliers. And when I pulled off the rubber band, I held it with the pliers. But I came into the same problem because now with the pliers, I still can't get it off because the pliers were in the way. So I really don't know how to remove this dress and change it. I have no idea. I know there is a way. I know there is a way. Because clearly the dress was put on the doll. I just personally have no idea. I am lost. I'm like a child lost in the forest in the dark with no torch. Like, I just I don't know what I'm doing. So Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you guys most of the body because I can't get the dress off. It just won't come off. I can show you the crotch, but I also don't want to be flashing her all over live stream. Like, that's just not polite. I do it with my vinyl dolls all the time, but I don't know. I just feel wrong. I don't know why now of all times I just feel wrong doing it, but we're going to show you as much as I can. Okay, so here's the torso. Now she's got like these bloomers on because she's wearing a very period kind of specific dress. So if I remove the bloomers, you will see here's the torso. So very cutely sculpted torso. I don't know how well you guys can see it. It's very nice. Look at the little belly button. It's so cute. And you'll see here, this is something we don't have on vinyl dolls. So this is another difference that I'm noticing that we do not have, is this cutout line on the torso, and you could see the doll moves there. It moves there. We don't have that in vinyl. That would be awesome if we could have this in vinyl, but there are some downsides to it, obviously. If you have this on a resin doll, when you have them wearing low-rise jeans or bikinis, the line will show. That's one of the advantages of having a vinyl doll, is that when you wear low-rise jeans or bikinis for your dolls, they will have like a seamless looking torso, so you don't have like this line across. Same thing with Volks, like between Smart Doll and Volks Dolphy Dreams have a line that go across as well, whereas Smart Doll does not. So really, it's all about personal preference. Like, if you know that your doll is going to be fully clothed all the time and they're not the type, like the personality of your doll, are not the type of girl to be showing their midriff section, then it's not a problem. You'll have more versatility in movement, and the doll's always dressed anyway, so you're never going to see it. But I did think that this is a really cool feature, and you can kind of see, I kind of pull it apart a little bit. I don't want to pull too much and break it, but you can kind of pull it apart a little bit and have it move around. So for different poses and the like. So she does to take I just like exposed her to take parlance from Transformers. If you ever look at Transformers like unboxing videos or reviews, they have what's called an ab crunch. So I'm calling it the ab crunch. So she does have an ab crunch, whereas Dolphy Dreams, even though they have this, they can't ab crunch like this. They can only do side to side on Dolphy Dreams. And then Smart Dolls can't do this at all because Smart Doll doesn't even have this ab crunch ability. So Resins have an ab crunch. Look at that. Let's see. There's a lot of you guys are really giving me good advice, but I'm missing it because I'm too busy talking. Kitten Cat Chop says, not necessary forceps or hemostats clamp on the elastic. We can help you at the next doll meet. Yes, please. I was thinking about that because hemostats or clamps is kind of the same thing as pliers, but I don't see how you could still get the sleeve off with that. Unless the sleeve kind of slides over the clamps or over the forceps, and then you could still hook on the hand and then remove the forceps along with the dress, I guess. But since I already exposed this poor girl on live, I guess I'll show you her leg joints anyways. Tempest says, oh, let me show you one moment. I'll grab a picture instructions. Okay. You need a dressing peg. Oh, I get it now. I get it. Thank you, Anna. I'm assuming a dressing peg is like a peg for the arm that has, okay, I'm assuming it's just the ball joint, right? There's no hand, so it hooks onto the ball joint. I'm assuming that's what that is. I need one of those. Yes, I will need one of those. It'll help making dress the doll so much easier. Let me see. Put string in the loop and pull up. Oh yeah, I could have done that. Okay, so what Jay Luis is saying is that I can take this out and put a string inside the rubber band so that when the rubber band goes and gets pulled into the arm, I could just pull the string to pull it back out. I would need some pretty heavy duty string because I'm assuming if I use thread for like threading, like for clothes, I think the string is not strong enough thickness, and I think it would snap trying to pull this elastic, because this elastic is strong. Like, pulling this out, it looks like it's easy, but like I'm putting a lot of force behind this, which I don't know if is good or bad. A dressing peg is like the wrist without the hook and the S fingers and narrow paddle shape. Yes, thank you. I kind of figured that one out, and I didn't read ahead to see that, Anna. But yeah, I kind of figured that out eventually. She had a 3-part torso. BJDs can come with a 2-part torso. So I have a 3-part torso? So, okay, so wait. So there's the hips, right? And I'm already exposing her. And then there's torso, and I'm assuming there's another one at the bust, right? Oh, I just unbuttoned that by accident. No. So like, okay, so here, we're just gonna have a naked doll. I'm sorry, guys. So it looks like I have a 2-part torso because I only have the 1 torso, and the bust is part of the torso. So she has a small bust, and then we have like the hip area. So I don't have anything else, and I just blew open her. I hope I didn't break it. Okay, no, I didn't. Let me just unbutton the dress. Let me unbutton the dress so I don't... Because I was like rotating her, and I popped open the button, and I swear to God, I freaked. I thought I broke the dress. Luckily, it just unbuttoned itself. Okay. So this way I can freely move it around. So now, going in here, this is obviously very different from a vinyl doll, is the way the legs are attached. So it has, I don't even know what to call these, but these are like grooves. I'm assuming it's to put the, I don't know, it's for like the elastic. Like when you go like this, I'm assuming the elastic goes down, and it's so you can open the legs, like, you know, like, well, because of the Burumas, but you get it, right? Like it's so you could turn the legs outwards, like outwards this way. But her Burumas are on, and her pantalones. So she is. So I think she's a 2-part. And then so we don't have this in vinyl dolls. Is this groove here? It's more so just like one solid, like I guess upper leg part, thigh. I failed anatomy, okay, guys? So in the upper thigh, we don't have these because with resin, we could just move them up and down as we please. Now with certain dolls, we cannot. Let me, you know, I'm just gonna take this off. This is really annoying me because it's not allowing me to like show you guys what I want to do. So I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take the pantaloons off. So in order to do this, we can do this with vinyl dolls, right? We could just kind of like get the leg, put it up. But I'm assuming what this groove is here is you put the leg and then you move it outwards like that. And that's how the string kind of follows along that groove. We don't have that in vinyl. In vinyl, we can just go like this, forward. In vinyl, we can't do this. We can't have the legs come out like this. Now you can experiment and make the leg do that in sort of, but it's not really designed to do that. But you can do that. And just like with the resin, you're gonna come into the part of this part of the hip hitting itself. So it's a little different. It's slightly different. But just like vinyl, you can kind of turn the leg in and out. You can like rotate them, right? Just like same thing with vinyl. And it does hold its pose when you bring the leg up. Or if I use this one, it kind of holds its pose just like that. You can even go further up, which you cannot do in vinyl. And then it pops out. It pops out the whole leg. Like, look at this. This is crazy. Like, it pops out the whole leg out of its socket. That's insane. I don't know if I'm like ruining or the elastic by like doing all this like acrobatics. But she can do a lot. There's a lot of poses that she can do. But there is a downside to it because amongst all this ability to pose and movement in the legs, which you can still do with the arms as well, but I can't get the arms out of the sleeves right now, is that because it's elastic, it gets temperamental. And like Jay Louisa said before earlier in stream, they act on a will of their own. So I could do this and leave her like this, but eventually at some point, if the wind blows or something happens, she will kick back because of the elastic. Or if I wanted her to go and move her knee, now she kicks because it's so tight. The elastic's so tight, which is good because it helps her keep her pose. But if I only wanted the knee to bend a little bit, like if I only wanted to bend a little bit, nope. Nope. Like I just want a little bend. Nope. Because the elastic is, is kicking it because it's relieving tension. It wants to go and bend all the way, which, by the way, we cannot do this with vinyl dolls. We cannot get this sharp of a bend with vinyl dolls. We cannot do this. This is a limitation with vinyl because of the joint here and the joint in the front. Like, even with smart dolls are designed to only do 90 degrees, right? Dolphy Dreams can go a little bit further, but they cannot go as far as this. Like, without some kind of weird acrobatic thing of you kind of pulling it out of the socket. Socket. So this leg, like, let's say you wanted to do a pose, right? Let's say you wanted to do a pose of this girl standing, but you wanted to have a little bend in her leg in the pose, right? Because, people do that. People don't, like, stand straight-legged all the time. Like, there are bends in our knees, and depending on the pose. If I wanted to do a slight bend, let's see if we can do it. Aha! We can get a slight bend. There was, like, a little bit of click. So we have a slight bend. But if we were to give it a little nudge, it moves. It moves up. Now it wants to go all the way and kick. So let's try it again. Slight. Just a little bit. I just want to bend a little bit. Oh, nope. There it goes. Just like kind of auto flinches and kicks. Oop, there it goes. So like I could kind of get it like this. There we go. And it's not moving. But if the wind were to blow, she kind of moves a little bit. Now, I'm assuming that Tempest and Jay Louisa and Kitten Cat Shop in the chat, by saying getting those silicone washers in between, it will kind of get rid of that kick a little bit. Am I assuming that right, ladies? That if I do like this a little bit, and then you put the silicone in there, it will kind of help it keep its pose. Like, I'm keeping my finger here to hold it, but I'm assuming it can do that. Let me see. There's more in chat going on. Okay. Okay, so PMB Sakura says, how does resin work with staining? I have never researched it. Tempest says, resin is more resistant to staining. Yes. So resin, okay, so here's the difference that I have come to understand, but again, I'm not fully 100% in this, PMB Sakura. So here, take what I say for a grain of salt. Listen to what they're saying in chat. They know their stuff. But my understanding, at least, between vinyl and resin for staining, resin is more resistant because resin is not porous like vinyl. Like, vinyl is very porous and it will absorb stains into it. Resin, because it's I don't know how to say it, it's like cooked. It's like a hard resin. I want to say plastic, but it is resin. It's hard. So it has very closed pores. It doesn't mean they can't stain though. They can stain, and my understanding is also easier to remove the stain on resin because you can use a little bit more abrasive stuff on it, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But also, another difference that I noticed is the biggest difference between resin and vinyl is that vinyl, over time, the vinyl will degrade in one way or another. It'll discolor, it'll do whatever it does. Discolor, it'll break down in a way too if you leave it in the sun too much. Resin, however, resin will not break down, but what it will do is it will yellow. And it will yellow aggressively, is my understanding. Like, way faster than vinyl will. Like, so if you have your vinyl dolls, like, I don't know, in your house, like where there's sunlight, and the sunlight is directly hitting your dolls, the vinyl will eventually change colors. They will yellow a little bit, or whatever color it comes out to, depending on the skin tone that you have. But the vinyl will also, the material itself will eventually degrade. And that's not due to sunlight, that's just longevity of vinyl. Like, vinyl doesn't last as long as resin does. But resin is more susceptible to yellowing if you keep it in the sun. So they will get very much so yellowed if you keep them in the sun. That's my understanding, at least. I could be 100% wrong. Anna says, some have a slot so I can pull the S-hook, rotate it, and it locks in and out of position. J. Lewis says she's a 2-part. Okay, the chest part is sometimes cut where the bust would be to help the doll lean forward. I assumed as much, J. Louisa. I actually thought she was a 3-part torso until I actually looked. Because my natural assumption coming from the vinyl hobby is that the bust is removable and it's a separate piece. Just like in Volks, just like in Smart Doll. So my assumption it was a 3-piece, that it was cut off at the bust and then cut off right at the waist part for the hips. But she's actually only in 2 parts for this specific doll. Anna says she can pirouette. Jay Luisa says, I'm good. Okay, I'm not wearing out the elastic. Wiring will help. I've heard about that too, Anna. Actually, I heard about it from you, Anna. I think we were talking about it at Thy Geekdom Con about putting wires like inside the doll so that it would help hold the pose more. But I remember hearing that there were pros and cons about that. Some kicking is also part of her engineering. Why my imp dolls have locks, some are just this way, but not all. Try bending at the bottom of the knee. The bottom of the knee. So at the bottom. Yeah, so if I click it like that from the bottom, it stays a little bit. And then it moves. So I have like the ability to have it straight, and then I can one click it. There you go, for that slight bend in there. But then after the one click, it's just a straight shot to having the leg go straight. Instructions for hand now in your D cord. Oh, thank you. Thank you for sending that to me, Tempest. I will have to check it after stream, only because, for obvious reasons. But yeah, okay, I see it here. I see the instructions. I will... Huh. Why won't it let me zoom in? Yeah, I see it removing. Wait, what? Wait, hold on. I'm looking at the instructions now, and I'm like, wait, hold on a second. Okay, hold on. Wait. Oh. Oh. Hold on. Does this work? Oh god, I can do it. Okay. Okay, I got you, Tempest. Thank you. So, okay, here we go. We're going to take this off. We are going to do it. So, okay. I figured it out with Tempest's help. So the ball joint can go like this and separate from the hand. I thought they were one piece. And then from here, I could twist the S-hook so it stays. Look at that. And then the hand comes off. What? Okay, is there... Hold on. I'm scared. I'm scared. I feel like it's going to ricochet right back in. Hold on, hold on. Because the thing keeps moving. So if I do it like this... Which way goes back in? Okay, that way goes back in. So this way is to rest. Okay. We're going to take this out. So we got the hand out, and she's got this Captain Hook looking thing. It's like, arr, I'm Captain Hook. Okay, so we can take this out. Okay, let me be gentle. I don't want this getting, like, and then, like, shooting back into the arm. No. Be gentle. Be gentle. Alright, something's caught in the elbow. Elbow joint's caught somewhere. Okay, there we go. Slide this out. Please don't lose the S-hook. Oh, I got her. Thank you, Tempest. Okay, let's put this back because this is really freaking me out. Like, it's really freaking me out that this could just like launch back into her body at any point in time. So we got the arm out. Okay, we can do even more talking in depth about the body now. Try bending at the bottom of the knee. Instruction for hands now. Depends on the resin. Older doll from start or the hobby. Turn green or bright yellow. Yes. So it can turn yellow or green for discoloration. Depends on the resin. So yeah, if you keep it in the sun, PMB Sakura, it's gonna yellow more aggressively than it will for vinyl. Kitten Cat Chop says, is that a peanut between thigh and calf or in the knee attached to the lower leg? I don't know what you mean by that peanut thing, but it is a thing. There's like a, I don't know if this is a peanut, but there's like a thing that goes into the leg. Hold on, we're gonna get her undressed because now I have now learned by the guidance of Tempest Senpai. So we're gonna do the other hand. We're gonna do the other hand. Okay, wait. Oh, it doesn't like this one. Twist. Oh, it doesn't like this one. Hold on. Hold on. Houston, we have a problem. It doesn't want to do it. What am I doing wrong here? Okay, S hook is in. And then it should pull out, but it doesn't want to. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. It's coming. We got it. Okay, okay, okay. I'm gonna take out the hand. Please don't snap back into the doll. Yes, Captain Hook. You have done it, Captain Hook. Okay. Hands back in. Yay. Okay. We could go over this in more detail. Look at everybody in chat. Everybody's like, woohoo! Yay! Not sure if that girl has double jointed knees. I don't think she does. Hearts Shul, welcome to the stream, Hearts. Welcome to the stream. We are learning about resin dolls because this channel is mostly about vinyl. I know nothing about resin. This is my first resin doll, and we're learning it as we go. Tempest says body type is Super Dolphy MIDI girl. Right. So SDMG? I thought this was SD. I thought this was SDFM. Okay, we're gonna take this off. Okay, here we go. Naked doll alert. So if you guys are averse to naked dolls, yeah, this might be not a good episode for you if that's the case. Okay, yay! Let's go over this in a little bit more detail. Now that we have the body out. So you can see, as we were talking about it before, she's got a two-piece torso. So one whole torso from head all the way down to here. And then she's got an ab crunch, which locks, apparently. When you crunch it, it just stays. I can't do it any further. I think that's as much ab crunch as you're going to get. So when you get it like this, that's about as much ab crunch. So it looks a little... like when she's naked, it looks a little weird because now she has like this weird butt flap thing over here. But I mean, most of the time your doll's gonna be clothed when it's doing this anyways, right? So ab crunch is like this. It's a little bit of a crunch, but still better than, you know, other dolls. You don't even get that at all. So, and then we have side to side for the torso. Okay. Now, here's what I wanted to go over that I couldn't before because I didn't know I could take off the hands. So model is F48. So SDF48, which is the number that I wanted. I couldn't remember the exact number. It's more so like I was trying to remember it. Okay, so here's the arm. Okay, so we have an arm. We could actually see the explosion of the arm. So for you vinyl people, this is all new to you just like it is to me. We are going to move the arm up, and that's about as far as we can get with the movement of the arm. So, hold on. I'm trying to get her focused in here. You know what? Hold on. Maybe it'll be better if I do it like this. Alright. So, we have her here. if we move the arm up, we get about this much of clearance. Now it can go further, but then you're popping the arm out and you're moving the elastic out of its socket, and it's just going to drop down anyways. And now she wants to do the robot. So now she's like, robot. But it can hold her pose. Look at that. See, she can hold the pose, but sometimes, depending on how you move her hand, she just wants to do the robot. Now, for bending wise, bending wise. So if she's out like this, you could see the elbow here, and she can move in. So she can move in pretty far, actually, and hold the pose. So we can go all the way in if we wanted to. And it can hold halfway, and it can hold 90 degrees-ish, and it can hold straight. So pretty good. Hands are not really supposed to bend that way. I had her like, ah! That's not really how hands are supposed to go. But you know what I mean? Like, you can kind of like move stuff around. Okay? So that's a full movement of the arms. Now, going back to the table view. Okay. What I want to show you in close-up is the elbow joint. So for those of you that only collect vinyl like myself, that haven't jumped into the foray of doing the resin thing, you're going to see here, this looks different. So for vinyl, we have like an enclosed joint piece. It kind of looks like a weird like P with like extra sockets that come in and out of it. But for resin, we have these two hole cutouts here, and that's where like the elastic band comes through, and that's where the bending points are. So we could in theory bend her arm backwards, but who does that, right? Like nobody, human beings can't do that. Why should dolls? That would be freaky. So anatomically, if it's just like a human being, then it can just bend at 90 degrees. And each one of those like little divots here, there's like a little like muscle divot right here. I don't know if it comes out on camera, but you can kind of see it right here. And that's where it stops for the 90 degree. And then when you pop it out of the socket, then you could do the full 90 degree turn. And you could see when it pops out, you could see the rest of the P shape, a joint, which you couldn't see before. See, like if it's covered, like you're not really seeing that in there. But when you do it, it does pop out. So just like vinyl also has a thing that pops out. But the difference with vinyl is, if we look a little closer, like with vinyl, you would see the skeleton popping out of the socket, like that long, like cylindrical piece. Whereas this, you don't see the elastic band popping out of the elbow joint. Like it's fully covered. So that's really nice. I do appreciate that. On how the design or the development of that is for the arm joint. So, you know, you could always, you know, do them both, where she's kind of like, look at this weird like pose where she okay, hold on. So like she could do this like, it's like, oh no, I'm naked, don't look at me. It's kind of like, it reminds me of that scene in that movie. Have you guys ever seen that old movie Accepted, where like what's his name, the actor's name, where he screamed like a girl and he was like, or like, yeah, their arms like that's kind of like what I'm recreating. She's like, don't look at me, okay, sorry, I'm stupid, I know, I'm being stupid. Hold on one second. It's getting really hot. My fan just died. Give me a second to plug it in. 1 second, I just need to plug it in. Oh my god, if I could just reach this wire. Oh lord, it's so hot in here now. Like, I have a thermometer in here. It's just so, because I need to make sure that my computer doesn't overheat, because this place does not have any circulation from the AC whatsoever in here. So I have to use a fan, and my fan just died. So plug it in, because it's a battery, it's a USB charging fan, so it just ran out of battery. So now I gotta plug it in. And the reason why I had to turn off my camera is because in order to plug it in, I would have to bend over, and I don't want to moon everybody live on stream. So I gotta turn off the camera so I don't moon you people. All right, here we go. All right, now we're back. Okay, because I would have to bend over this way, and then my butt would be in the camera, and that just wouldn't be good. Maybe some of you enjoyed that. I don't know. But I surely wouldn't. So so here we go. We have the doll in all its glory. We showed you the torso. We showed you the ab crunch of the doll. So we have the ab crunch. We showed you the elbow joint points. And we actually showed you the wrist on how to take off the wrist so we could dress up the doll. That was interesting. We have now gone over the legs. Kind of how we can go up. And then how we can kind of open it like so. Like, I'm trying to get it in camera. Open it like so. So yeah, there's that. Then the knee joints we have covered. How it can open in the knee joints. So we kind of gone over that. That's good. The last but not least is doing the ankle, right? So we need to just take off her socks. Which should not be an issue, but sometimes sometimes socks can be a little bit of a pain in the butt getting around the ankle joint. Okay, so here we have the foot. This is the foot. Now we can kind of move it down, but that's as far as it moves. If we can just get a side view, here we go. So moving up is about this far, and you could see already the tension of the rubber band is pushing it back, so it can't hold this pose. But obviously, if she's standing and her weight is on her foot, it's going to hold the pose anyways, because her weight's on it. But without the weight on it, you can kind of see the tension of the rubber band pushing back. And then pushing downwards, for whatever reason, there is no tension on that way. It can hold the pose, no problem. You can also turn it in and out. You could actually turn it like a lot of ways in and out. Like break her ankles, basically, if she was a human being. There is a small cutout that you can see when she does bend. There's a little bit of a exposure of the ankle joint there, right there. But it's not really so severe. It's not that bad. If we take it from behind, you could kind of see it does expose a little bit there as well. These are things that you don't see in vinyl because these ball joints are all enclosed. There's no exposed opening on the ball joints on vinyl. So this is just something different that if you're going to get into the resin hobby, that you should probably know in case for whatever reasons. Most of the time, you're not going to see these ankles or feet because they're usually covered by some kind of socks or shoes. But if you're doing like a bikini shoot or a beach shoot or something, or you're having them wear sandals, then obviously these will be exposed. And it's just something I just want to make everybody aware, coming from the vinyl scene and moving into the resin scene, that this is something that you just need to be aware of that happens with resin dolls. It's not a deal breaker by any means necessary. It's just different. You know what I mean? Now, these feet and ankles function exactly the same as the hands and the wrists. So if I were to pull it apart, you could see the little S hook in there that's holding the elastic, right? And then you have the ball joint, which comes separate, I'm assuming. And you could kind of... Oh, got stuck. I'm assuming there's a way to do this too. Yes. So I can turn it, and now I can remove the foot, like so. And now he has a Captain Hook leg. But this is to change the feet if you wanted to change the feet to a different kind of thing, like maybe high-heeled feet or some other kind of feet that's available in resin that I don't know about, in order for you to do whatever it is that you want to do. Okay, now it's like stuck. Hold on. Hold on. I ruined it. Pop. There we go. Sorry. That was a little bit of a struggle to pop it back in the socket correctly. I didn't have it in there the right way, but now I got it on and she's good to go. So we could turn her feet, move her around, whatever. And then that's the feet in a nutshell. I mean, you know, honestly, coming from, what's it called? Honestly, coming from the vinyl side, moving into the resin side, it's not that much different when posing or moving a doll. It's, at least for right now, at the very beginning stage of what I'm doing, just kind of moving the joints around, undressing the doll. Thank you very much, Tempest Strife, for that instruction manual. That was a lot easier than I expected it to be. But just dressing the doll, moving the doll around, you know, getting them in whatever kind of poses that you want. It's pretty much acts the same as a resin doll. The biggest issue that you're going to have moving from vinyl to resin is just the little kickback from the tension of not being able to hold poses maybe the way that you want them to. I think the biggest issue that you have with vinyl is when you move the doll, there are some poses that they just don't want to do because that's the limitation of the skeleton. And that's the limitation of the way the doll is designed to move their bodies. Whereas with resin, what I'm noticing is that you have a lot more freedom of movement of the doll. But the biggest concern about the freedom of movement is that because it's elastic and it's not a skeleton, some of those poses that you put them in might not be able to hold anyways. Like for instance, right now, if I do her hand up at 90 degrees, it works fine. But if I want it in between 90 and nothing, it always pops back down. Always pops back down. Now, that can be cured by putting a wire inside, like Kitten Cat Shop said. Or like J. Louisa, Kitten Cat Shop, and Tempest has said, you can put silicone washers in between the joints. So this doll does not have it. I will experiment with that with Tempest Strife on how to put in those silicone things at some future date in time. But for now, for the basics of owning a resin doll and just kind of like having a pre-constructed one, you're not going to run into too many differences or limitations between vinyl and resin. So don't be too scared. I mean, I honestly, with all honesty, I am scared to own a resin doll because it's just the unknown, right? It's the thing that I do not know. And I know as much as anyone else could know really about vinyl right now. Maybe a little bit more, some would say, but really I think I have a good general knowledge. I would not call myself an expert in any way, shape, or form. But I have a good enough general knowledge of vinyl to be able to know enough and do enough of my own maintenance or whatnot. I don't know enough about resin to do my own maintenance, and that's the part that scares me. Especially the whole thing about restringing the doll, because these dolls eventually, from what I'm told, the elastic inside it'll just wear out. Like it won't be as tight, and you will have to restring them with new string, or just pull on restring them in the way where you could keep it the same, but you just tighten it so it's much more tighter. So, you know, those kind of things I don't know. But on my journey of learning resin dolls, I'm probably going to end up learning it eventually in the near future, because I, at some point, will probably have to have her restrung, where I can just ask Tempest Strife to please restring her for me. But other than that, I mean, I think it'd just be good ownership knowledge just to know how to restring the doll myself. So I will definitely I will ask to be taught by my good friends how to restring, and I will attempt to do it on my own. And if it's just not for me, I then will ask people to please restring my doll for me. But I have to at least give it a shot, right? I gotta give it that old college try, right? So I want to learn, and I want to figure out how to restring these dolls at some point. I probably won't do it in the near future because she doesn't need to be restrung at this moment. But she will. At some point in time, she will, and I will have to know how to do that maintenance. And that's something I'm going to have to learn. So if you're a vinyl collector watching today's stream about this doll, I would say it's good. It would be good to have a friend that really knows their way around resin dolls. You know, in order to best be prepared for any unavoidable situations or accidents that may happen with your resin doll, it's good to have a friend that knows these things that can help you out. But if you don't have a friend, as Tempest Strife has said, there are resources online on how to do this stuff and how to learn how to do this stuff. I don't have those resources readily available for today's stream, but there are resources out there. Even Volks themselves, if you go to the Volks website, they have resources on there and instructions of how to do things. I just like learning from friends. I feel I learn easier and I understand things better by learning from friends than just like kind of reading a book. So those kind of things, it's not impossible, okay, is what I'm saying, to own a resin doll and not have a friend that knows how to do these. Like you could buy one of these dolls and learn everything on your own by going to the Volks website, following their instructions, doing YouTube videos, etc., etc. I just personally, I like having personal instruction from friends. I think I learn a great deal better and a lot better from that. But it's not that you can't. And the whole reason why I'm saying this whole spiel about friends or YouTube or instructions or whatever is I think that the learning curve, in my personal opinion, is a little bit different between vinyl versus resin. I think vinyl is you unbox and you play. Like the internal skeleton makes it so it's familiar, if that's an easy way to put it. Like if you ever played with toys before, like, you know, Figmas, G.I. Joes, Transformers, having a vinyl doll is kind of eerily similar to that in the sense that you can understand that plastic moves this way and it stops at a certain point because, you know, there's no cutouts or there's no holes in the plastic in order for to move that way. You could see that the joint only moves one way or the other. And you know that with a toy, like a Figma or whatever, if it breaks, it breaks. You need a new part, which is sold by Volks. They do have replacement parts. A-Zone has replacement parts. Smart Doll does not have replacement parts. So if you do buy a Smart Doll, they don't have. If you break a wrist joint or an elbow joint in a Smart Doll, there's no replacement part. You got to buy a new doll. However, they do have a warranty system where if something breaks, you know, and you have, I don't want to speak on behalf of Smart Doll because I don't work for them. I don't know the full rules, but I do know that you have a warranty. I think it's a year you get with Smart Doll, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember. Don't take my word as gospel. Look at it yourself, but there is a warranty. I just forget how long the actual warranty is on Smart Dolls, but you can send them an email, explain what happened, show pictures from what I'm told, and then they will send you a replacement part. I don't know if they'll send it for free, like shipping wise. I don't know if they make you pay shipping. I honestly don't know, but I know that they have some type of warranty. I personally have never used the warranty, knock on wood, because I've been very lucky with my dolls that nothing has broken as of yet. But I do know that they've had one. I've seen successful stories online on Facebook groups and stuff like that, and Discord groups about, oh, my part broke and Smart Doll shipped me another part. Long story short though, they don't sell the parts individually though. And you can only get a replacement part if it's under warranty and if it meets the criteria of getting a replacement part. But that's the familiar part, right? Because it's the same thing with buying a Transformer toy. It's the same thing as buying a Figma. It's the same thing as buying a Funko Pop. Like, you understand easily the limitations of how much you can bend or move those toys, because you can. It's just a familiar concept from when we're children playing with toys, understanding that you can't move parts in certain directions because of the joint and it breaking. Whereas in resin, the only difference I would have to say is that, yes, it moves very much so like a toy, like a plastic toy. But if you break it and something breaks, you can fix it, you know, with replacement parts. But the replacement parts are not plug and play like you were to do, like, let's say, a Volks Dolphy Dream. If you break the Dolphy Dream arm, you simply pull it off, replace it with the new part, and then put the arm back together. Same thing with any of the parts on a Dolphy Dream. The only difference that might make it a little bit harder on a Dolphy Dream is that if it's somewhere in the leg or the knee joint shin part, you might have to heat up the vinyl, remove the vinyl from the skeleton, and then unscrew, because if you have a 2.0 DDF3, there are screws to tighten and untighten. You would have to unscrew them, put them back together, and then put the shell back on. But it's a little bit, like, to me at least, coming from a mechanical background, as I was a mechanic once in another life, that's easy to understand the concept. But the whole thing with rubber bands is very simple. You pull it through, and that's it. But tightening it and tensioning it, it sounds all easy. I just don't know how to do it. And I think that's the part that scares me, is just the unknown. Once I get my hands on actually doing it, I think I will have a much better understanding of it, on how it works when I actually do it. And that's why I speak with so much confidence with vinyl, because I've actually done it. Like, I've removed parts, I've replaced parts, I've taken off the shell and seen just the bare skeleton. Like, I've done all of that. So that's why I can confidently say, you can do this, you can do that, blah, blah, blah. But with the resin, it's all unknown territory for me right now. Like, this is all new to me. I know nothing about this, and I'm kind of learning it on stream today with you guys. So I think once I get my hands on the internals and just kind of like, get around to restringing her and actually doing the legwork, I think will feel much more confident. And that's with anything in life too. That's anything in life. Like, you're always going to be in fear of the unknown. Some of us are braver than others, and they charge headfirst into the unknown. No regard. Like, they're just that confident that whatever trouble they get into, whatever, and they know through experience that they can get out of it some way, shape, or form. I'm not that confident of a person. I'm not that brave. I'm a very squeamish person by nature. If I think that something's going to go wrong, I rather just not do it and just avoid it, which I know is not healthy. I admit my faults. This is not a healthy thing. I should be more brave, but I'm not. I'm a bit of a scaredy cat. I'm also an indoor cat, as most of my friends know. I'm scared of the outdoors. Everything about outside of the house scares me. Because I was born in the city. I'm a city kid. Grew up in New York City. I am not scared walking around at night in 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning in the city, because that's just my home turf. But you put me in the suburbs at 12 o'clock at night with like crickets and nobody around and no streetlights, no noise, no subways, just me. Everything is going to pop out of a bush to me. Like, everything is going to come out of the shadows. Like, all the horror movies I've ever seen in life are going to come out and scare the crap out of me. Like, I am not an outdoor person whatsoever. But I think that, that very, very weird tangent aside, this is another part of the doll hobby that I knew nothing about, that I'm learning, and I'm very excited to get into now that I have my own doll. I've been putting this on the back burner for a very long time because I've been waiting for Belle. I have been waiting for my doll, my Volks princess. Where are you, Belle? Volks, if anyone that works for Volks is watching this, can we get some kind of info on what's going on with the Disney princesses? I really want a Belle. And if you're done, if the Disney princesses are done, then fine. Then I'll just move on. I just want to know if they're done or if there's more to come, because I really want Belle. But now that I've dipped my foot into the foray of resin, now that I have one, this is gonna be an interesting transition for me. If it becomes a big focal point in my doll career, I guess I'd say, or my doll collecting life of part of my hobby, you might see me talking more about resin doll companies in the future for Dolphy Dream News in the Doll Symposium, as we get further along into that foray. So this channel has been mainly focused on vinyl dolls, but now that I have my own resin, we might be delving into the world of resin a little bit more during our monthly news. I was going to say weekly, but I don't do it anymore weekly. But our monthly news, you might see that pop in and out more. Now that we have the Ranma, the two Ranmas, where we had Ranma and Shampoo released, they're coming out some really good anime collaborated. I'm excited for more anime collaboration out of Volks for resin, because they've knocked it out of the park with the Disney princesses. At least I feel so. Some people did not like the Disney princesses. And I feel like they knocked it out of the park with Shampoo and with Ranma. So maybe we'll see. I mean, Volks is not really known for having a lot of anime collaborated resin dolls. They're really not known for that. They've done a couple, and Tempest can, let you guys know in chat which ones. But, other than Ranma and Shampoo, I know that they did, way back in the day, I know they did Belle Dandy, and I know that they did Chi, but I don't know any other ones that they did. They don't really do anime collabs for Super Dolphy. There really isn't much of that going around. But if they start to delve into that and doing more anime collabs in resin, I will probably start dipping my hands into that a lot more than I was before. Because to be fair, my channel, this whole thing started over an Asuna Sword Art Online Dolphy Dream. I am very much so a collector of anime dolls. Like, that is my 100% main focus, is anime dolls. I have since branched out from anime collabs and bought other dolls, like Smart Doll, which at first didn't have any anime collabs. Then they had some, and now they have none again. And it's all original dolls from Smart Doll, which is not a bad thing. Their dolls are beautiful. But again, my main focus, and the reason why I haven't bought a Smart Doll in a very long time, is because my focus is really anime. And I've opened my heart to other dolls. So Smart Doll is definitely, right now, Smart Doll is probably one of my more favorite brands when it comes to original characters. I really jive with a lot of the original characters that they have, more so than the anime collabs. C2 and that whole Code Geass thing that they did, amazing. I like that from Smart Doll. I want more of that. The DC collabs, also amazing, but the price I was not happy with. And I know a lot of people weren't happy with the price, but that's neither here nor there. That's not really Smart Doll's fault. That was more so DC wanted a bigger slice of the pie. Hence, the IP license was expensive, hence the price had to go up. So it's not really Smart Doll's fault for that. But yeah, I mean, other than that, Girls in Panzer was cool. Not really my cup of tea, though. Cowboy Bebop was cool, but, you know, Spike was gone in an instant, so I couldn't get my hands on him. You know, all the other dolls, like Nami from One Piece, I'm not a fan of One Piece. Gurai from Frame Arm Girl, I'm not really a Gurai fan. I don't really have any Frame Arm Girls either that I have built, so, you know, it's not really for me. But when it comes to original characters, I really like Smart Doll. Like, a lot of their original characters look really cute and really pretty. You can make your own original characters in Dolphy Dream as well, and those are a lot of fun also. And I like those as well. But for when it comes to Volks, I love the Dolphy Dream line for anime collaborations. And I think that really shows in my channel because I buy a lot of that stuff. A lot of my dolls that I buy are really anime collaborated. A-Zone, same thing. A-Zone's got a lot of original characters. They do quite a bit of the anime stuff as well, but most of those things I feel like you can get a better version from Volks. No offense, A-Zone people, but it's like between the Jeanne d'Arc from A-Zone and the Jeanne d'Arc from Volks, I prefer the Volks one. You know, Ramen Rem from Volks or Ramen Rem from A-Zone, I prefer the Dolphy Dream version than the A-Zone one. There's a lot of different reasons that go into that, but like size is a big difference. The clothes is a big difference. The face is a big difference. So, you know, like it just really depends on personal preference. Like, I know one of our good friends of the channel, David Keynes, is a huge collector of A-Zone. You know, and he's made it it's no secret that he's not a fan of Smart Doll, and I appreciate that. I like the fact that he's honest, you know, and I can't blame him. You know, Smart Doll's not for everybody, but he is a huge proponent for A-Zone, and I know that he would much rather buy an A-Zone Jeanne d'Arc or an A-Zone Ramen Rem over the Dolphy Dream versions. Even though I don't think he's ever really expressed any kind of like dislike for Volks either, but I know that he's a huge A-Zone fan, so I just assume he would get the A-Zone versions. But yeah, I think if Volks were to dive more into anime collaborated resin dolls, I would be much more on board and start collecting many more resin dolls, because that's my big focal point. That's my big collection in this hobby. So even though I have branched out into original characters, just like this doll is one of my original characters now that I have to give a name to, you know, it's not my focal point of my hobby or my portion of the hobby. But I know that there's a lot of you out there that are really, really big into the customized dolls. Like, you want them to be personal, you want them to be mini used, you want them to be something that's not available, that people just didn't make, and you want to make your own custom dolls. Everybody has their own unique reasons of why they collect or do certain things with their dolls. And I have not been shy about saying that my major focus has always been for anime. So I think that if they were to do more of it in resin, I would definitely be more involved in the resin community, at least when it comes to like anime collaborations. If they were to do that, that would be a huge selling point for me. For me personally, it's not for everybody, but for me personally, that's a huge selling point for me. Let me see. I know a lot of you are talking in chat. Hold on. Oh my god, there's a lot in chat. Hold on. Hold on, people. Okay, so Tempest says, I'm terribly known for making resin dolls plop into friends' laps. Yes, I've known you for several years now, Tempest. I can definitely agree that you are definitely a person that does that. Anna says enablers. Tempest says yes. It's not too hard once you know it's a big fancy bead bracelet. Yeah, I think so. In my head, logically in my head, I understand the concept of it. Like of how it works. But it's just I feel like I wouldn't be comfortable or confident in it until I physically do it myself. I think that's the hurdle I just need to jump over. Like logically I can understand the concept, but like physically I get tepid or meek. You could just do it with some ribbon. Oh, maybe I could. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, I mean, I'm sure you already know that, but like I'd never thought of that. King Cat Chop says, after 3D printing our own dolls, restringing isn't as scary. Face-ups are still challenging. Yeah, I could understand that concept because I think I could realistically understand restringing a doll more than doing a face-up, because a face-up is... Okay, I know this is going to be a hot take, okay? So please don't roast me that bad. But face-ups is an art form, right? Am I wrong by saying that? It's an art form. Like, if you can't... I feel, personally, if you can't draw, then you can't do a face-up. Is that a hot take? I feel like that's a hot take, right? Because I am so bad at drawing that if I were to draw something for you, like if you were to say draw something, and I'll be like, no, I'm bad at it. And you'd be like, fine, then draw me a stick figure. And I'll be like, no, I'm bad at it. And they're like, no, you can't be bad at a stick figure. And then I'll draw a stick figure and be like, yo, that's pretty bad for a stick figure. Like, I can't draw for the life. Like, if my life depended on drawing, like if a guy had a gun to my head and said, I will let you live if you can draw me a good stick figure, I would be like, I'm dead. I'm dead. Like, there's no way. There's no way I'm going to survive this. Like, I'm just bad. And so, like, for someone like me that's that bad when it comes to drawing, there's no way I could do a face-up. But I think I could restring a doll with enough practice, is how I feel. Bunches and bunches of videos of restringing videos on YouTube. I'm sure there is, Tempest, but I need hands-on experience. I'm a hands-on kind of learner. QE meetup suggestions. Most groups have one person who knows restringing. That is true. Every single doll meetup I've been to, there's always been at least one person that knows how to... It's like a resin doll guru that knows how to restring and everything. Like, there's always that one person in the group that knows just basically everything. And I wholeheartedly agree with you, Anna, on that. Tempest says, my sibling makes painting look easy. I struggle to get my vision in the face. The paint just does what they want. I'm so jealous. Yeah, I mean, I've seen your sister's drawings, and she's very good. She's very good at what she does. J. Louisa says, wait till you learn about hybriding. Why can't I say this word? Hybriding a BJD. Look, I know about hybriding. Oh my God, that's hard. I know about making a hybrid BJD. I've lurked around enough chat rooms and have heard discussions amongst my own friends and in doll groups about hybriding. I know about it. Obviously, I've never done it because I've never had a resin doll, but I know of it, and I feel like that's going to be a huge talking point in the near future, probably. Tempest says, hybriding too hard to match now. Market is too large. And so many different ages of resin with different sun exposure. That's true too. That is another thing that I've heard from friends about talking about. Like, when you get replacement parts, like resin parts, it's hard because the yellowing of the resin due to age, the colors just won't match. And I feel like it's the same with vinyl too. Like even with vinyl, like if you've had a doll for a long time, like for example, my Chitose, my how do I say it? My grail, my number one doll in my whole collection is the original Smart Doll Milk Chitose. That is my most prized possession right now, my whole collection. I know that's blasphemy because I play with Cheryl more than I play with any other doll that I have. But the reason why I don't play with Chitose anymore is because she's milk and she's very old and she's getting on the brittle side. Like I don't want her breaking. So she's dressed in her forever outfit and she will forever have her space on my shelf and she never comes out to play anymore. Because I'm just scared to replace her with parts and having her break and having her yellow. So right now she's in a dark area, which sounds terrible. It sounds like I'm like keeping someone in prison hostage. She's like in a dark, damp room. No, not damp. She's just in a dark room where no sunlight hits her and she never moves from that spot. So she's very fragile right now. And with good reason, because for the better part of her life, ever since I've owned Chitose, she has been my go-to doll that I brought everywhere. Every doll meet, every convention, every outdoor photo shoot, every possible thing you could do with a doll, that Chitose doll has come with me to everything I have ever done in my life, doll-wise, up until the pandemic. And then during the pandemic is when she retired because I got my hands on another Chitose doll, which is the one I bring with me everywhere now. And she's a T version of Chitose, and she comes with me everywhere, literally everywhere, because she is the same doll, she's the same love, but the milk version will always have a special place in my heart. Anyways, that being said, I know that was like really long. The reason why I brought up that whole thing and the reason why I went on that tangent is because if I were to somehow come into possession of milk parts, because Danny Chu has recently posted that he's going to be selling milk smart dolls in the near future, unless I missed the post saying that he already started selling them. But he's going to sell them in the Sofubi vinyl, which is the soft vinyl. Even if I had that and I use those as replacement parts, the milk on that will not match the milk on my Chitose because she's had so much weathering from being out and about for many, many, many years. So that long story short, that's the reason. Like, same thing with Resin, except I think it's worse on Resin because they yellow way harsher than vinyl does. Kitten Cat Shop says, oh, wait till you see some of the more complicated BJDs, 4-part torsos, 3-part feet, jointed hands. I've seen the jointed hands. Those are badass, and I want those for vinyl. Like, I want jointed hands so bad for vinyl. Kitten Cat Shop says, yes, they're very scary, wild turkeys and rabbits. I don't like the outdoors. Okay, so can I tell this story of when we went camping, Kit Kat and Tempest? Because we did. We went... Okay, here's another tangent. Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you another tangent. We went camping, okay, for a doll camp. We went, because it was my first session of Dungeons and Dragons, and Kitten Cat Shop and Tempest Strife were teaching me how to play Dungeons and Dragons. And we did it in a campground. And I am not an outdoorsy person by any means necessary. And I think I did okay. I went to the campground. We had a great time. I learned so much about D&D. We had a fantastic time. I loved it. But the camping part, man, it was hard to get used to. Like, being outdoors in the daytime. This sounds so bad. Like, I sound like such a sheltered child. It's so bad. Like, being outdoors in the daytime in the camping ground was nothing new to me. Like, I've done hikes before. I've done, like, gone to parks. I've went to nature reserves before in the daytime. Not a problem. It's just, like, I always have my normal freakouts I normally do about bugs. Like, I don't like bugs or anything like that. Bugs freak me out. You know, and I don't like getting sweaty or having like the sun beat down on me. I know I'm such a picky person. I'm just like, for lack of a better word, I'm just like bitching right now about how sensitive a person I am. But anyways, I toughed through it because I'm with friends. I was having a great time with my friends. I was enjoying myself so much that I literally forgot that I was outside in nature. Like, that's how comfortable my friends made me. They made me so comfortable in the surroundings of where I were that I forgot I was in nature, and I actually started enjoying it. Like, I enjoyed myself. Despite my little fears or indecisions or inclinations about nature, like, I actually had a really good time and really enjoyed myself. But when the lights went out and it got dark, that's when I was like, okay, I really need to hold my composure and not freak out in front of my friends. Tempest probably knows, Anna probably knows, but like, you could probably see it in my face. Like, I was like, it's dark. I can't see 10 feet past my face because it's literally no lights anywhere other than our campfire. Like, I'm hearing weird noises in the dark. I was like, what the freak is going on? But again, I'm surrounded by friends. They made me feel so comfortable. Even in an uncomfortable place for me, they made me feel comfortable. Like, they talked me through things. We talked about topics that like we all enjoyed. We had a great time. And again, it all depends about the people. You do things outside of your comfort zone with the right people, it gives you a whole new experience about things. And I actually really ended up enjoying it. Like, we were like roasting things on the fire, we were talking, we were drinking, like, it was dark, but like the little fears that I had that usually would nag at me was like kind of, it was like half out the window. It was like I kind of half forgot about it because the company you keep is really the difference maker. Like, it really makes you feel so much more comfortable being around people. So I really, despite the fact that I'm not a nature person, I actually really did enjoy myself during the camping trip. I did not sleep overnight, so if anyone was thinking about it, I did not camp overnight because I think that's pushing my threshold a little too far. But I was able to stay really late into the night, into the pure darkness really of it all. But I think, eventually maybe I'll climb over that hill and do an overnighter. But I think for my first experience of being in a campsite at night, I think I lasted pretty well. All things said, if I was by myself, I would have been out there. I would have gotten in the car and left immediately if I was by myself. Like, but but because I was around like really good friends, it was great. It was a good time. Let's see. I mean, she was like the OG collab. Yeah, okay, we're talking about the Resin collabs. Jay Louisa didn't know about Bell Dandy. Bell Dandy was, I think it was a limited run release, wasn't it, Tempest? Blackjack. Oh yeah, they did do Blackjack in anime. PNB Sakura says, I can't wait till the release of Fern. They posted recently she's coming out. I know. Fern, we'll talk about that in the news. I mean, did I talk about it? I did talk about it, didn't I? In the last episode of the Doll Symposium? If not, we'll talk about it next week. I'm pretty sure we did. Rosen Maiden, Oscar and Maria, Blackjack, Lady Georgie, Utena. Did Utena come out as an animated collab in Resin? I didn't know that. Cyborg. Oh, Darren Ashmore. Welcome to the stream, Darren. Cyborg 009 also came out in Resin. I didn't know that. Devilman. Yes, I remember Devilman. I remember seeing that in my research. So Devilman's another one in Resin. J. Louisa says Nier Automata. Was Nier Automata in Resin? I thought Nier was the vinyl, Dolphy Dream vinyl. Did they make a Resin version? Oh no, Tempest says Nier and Utena were vinyl. Yeah, but did they do an Utena and Resin? I don't know if they did or not. I know that definitely Nier and Utena were vinyls. I don't know if they had any Resin releases. Darren Ashmore says, I'd have been all over the Ranma half if they had been Ranma and Shampoo, as opposed to Volk's patent baby face things, SDGR and SD16 would have been my choice. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so I can't say that I agree. Darren, I can't say that I agree or disagree, only because I am not as familiar in the SD range of faces. So like when you say SDGR or SD16, I know those numbers, but I know them as a comparison for height-wise for Dolphy Dreams. So if I were to buy clothes for my Dolphy Dreams, I understand SDGR and SD16 as size-wise. Like, this will fit my doll. But other than size-wise, when you say SDGR, SD16, I don't understand the face thing that you're saying. So I can't really disagree or agree with you because I don't understand the concept of it. But I will say that as an expert in resin, as opposed to me, I know you know way more about resin than I do. I'll take your word for it. But as a layman, from a layman standpoint, since I don't know much about it, I really did enjoy the Ranma and the shampoo look. If you're getting at the fact that they look a little more childish, then I understand what you're saying, because they do look more cutesy, chibi, childish, if that makes any sense, if I'm making any sense about that. Like, for the resin, than they do their original characters in the cartoon, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if that made any sense. Oh my god, there's so much in chat right now. I'm trying to catch up. Hold on. What was the Final Fantasy ones? Final Fantasy, they had Final Fantasy 14 in vinyl, where they released Ishtola and the twins. Well, the twins are coming out this fall. In resin, there is no Final Fantasy in resin, because if there was, I know Tempest Strife would be 100% all over that. But at the very least, there was no Cloud in resin. That much I know, because Tempest Strife exists. That's why I know. So there is no resin for Final Fantasy that I know of, but Tempest would probably know better about that than I do. Heart Soul says, correction, it's Lady Oscar. Oh, okay, from your quote from above. Okay. Kitten Cat Chow says, yeah, it's like Barbie as X character. Like you mean like for A-Zone, right? I think that's what you were referring to. Hart says, I agree with you. I prefer Dolphy's anime version over A-Zone. They just have better face-ups too, in my opinion. Yeah, I think the face... Like, see, for me, the face-ups are a lot better for the anime stuff. When you compare anime collaborations between A-Zone and Dolphy Dream, I think the Dolphy Dream face-ups are way better than the A-Zone face-ups. However, that being said, if you take an A-Zone original character, like Maikano, or any of the schoolgirls, like Yui, or Rika, I think her name was Rika. If you take the original characters that A-Zone makes, their face-ups are actually really, really good. But only on the originals. For some reason, they drop the ball when it comes to an anime collaborated doll. I don't know why that is. Darren says, if Volks could get away from the babyface looks of for the flagship line, or add 16, 17s and SGERs back to full choice, I'd be far more content with their resins. Oh, I see what you're saying. So they're sticking to a certain line in their flagship than having the other ones in there. Okay. I can face up better than drawing. I'll take your word for it. I really don't know. Darren says, not a hot take and a specific art. I'm happy doing mechs and vehicles and the like all day long, but put a doll head in my hand and I can't get it. Okay, well, at least somebody agrees with me. I really do feel like doing a face-up is and I know it might be it might sound like a hot take, or it might sound obvious to some, but like, it really is an art skill. Like, you have to be artistic to do a face-up, I feel. Or at least have some inclination, right? Like, you don't have to be an expert, but you have to at least have some kind of, like, artistic bone in your body, so to speak, or an artistic soul. I have none of that. That is why this channel and myself is just about collecting. Like, I am a collector because I admire the things that other people's artistic and creativity can make. And I am jealous that I cannot make my own. I do not have an artistic bone in my body, because if I did, I think I would be more into the whole, like, making your own doll scene. The biggest thing that prevents me from making my own custom doll is I can't do it. I can't do the face up. I shouldn't say I can't, because you should never say no, like, to doing those kind of things. Like, I guess if you put enough time and effort, maybe you could do something. But I really feel like I don't have that artistic soul. I'm not artistic enough to do those things. Like, for this channel, all the artwork that you see on this channel, like the picture of Sachiko on the bottom middle of your screen there, that is drawn by one of my good friends, Anna. She's done all the art for my channel. So any art that you see on my channel, she's done for me, because I don't know how to do art. I really don't. All of my custom dolls that I've made from Dolphy Dream Choice, those are just making selections. You just pick. I want this, I want that, I want that, and it creates a character. But to make something from scratch, man, that's an art form that I'm very jealous. It's a skill that I don't have that I'm very jealous of, which I think I could have if I worked hard enough at it, just as anything else in life. But it can only take you so far, right? Like, people can work really hard at getting into the NBA, to be a basketball player. But only certain few, like Michael Jordan, that just has this natural born talent that you can become Michael Jordan. Natural born talent doesn't make you Michael Jordan. It's just having natural born talent and practicing and training every single day with that talent makes you Michael Jordan. So for everybody else that does practice every single day, works hard every single day without the talent, and they get into the NBA, those are great players. They're just missing that extra oomph of natural talent that I think some people are just born with. That's just my hot take. I feel like some people are just born with a natural affinity to certain things. And for Michael Jordan, it was basketball. And for people in the doll community, it's creativity and art. And I don't have that part. Or at least I don't feel like I have that part. Tempest says, go sick, also for Volk's resin licenses. Tempest Strife says, Cortex body for her. I mean, you could. I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibility. Kitten Cat Chop says, Kitten Cat are getting loose. Oh, they are? See, see, loose joints. Yeah, see, that's disappointing. And that's the same problem I've been having with Chitose. She's just old, she's worn, she's used so much. Like, I mean, used, like I said, I literally took her everywhere. She was on my very first trip to Japan, my very first international flight. She was there with me. Like, everything I did was with Chitose, and continues to be with Chitose. It's just with a newer version of Chitose. But my OG one is my highlight of my collection. She'll always be like number one. Sorry to all my other dolls that I own. Let's see. Dear God, those two might cause some trouble. Get them back in containment. Yee, can we talk about camping? Yes, we did. He's okay, wait. I finally caught up in the conversation. Okay, I'm sorry. I know I'm behind in the chat, but okay. Corey says, you didn't camp. You visited a campsite. Okay, I understand that there is a very clear distinction between camping and visiting a campsite, but I'm just saying that's the closest. Okay, wait, no, that's not the closest. I just unlocked like a memory that I've been trying to block out of my head for so long. I did go camping once before when I was a young child. I think I was like 15. I went camping with my family, and we had no idea how to camp. Like, we literally, like, my father, I guess you could say my stepfather in a way. He decided to take us camping with a group of other people. Now, my stepfather, he doesn't know anything about camping. He went because he went with a bunch of friends that kind of understood about camping. But he didn't really know anything about camping. But he also, played it off like he knew about camping, but like, my mom and I were just kind of like, yeah, you don't know anything about camping. But like, he tried at least, right? He tried. That's the whole point. Like, that's what counts. Anyways, we went camping. We did everything wrong, okay? I remember we pitched the tent in a place, and we were just like, yeah, this looks like a good place. And we pitched the tent. We put up the tent. We didn't have any padding in the tent. Like, we just pitched the tent. Like, there was no, like, some tents nowadays, they have like a cushion that you could put at the bottom of the floor of the tent so that it's not so hard. So we just had a regular ass tent. Okay, sorry for my cursing. We had a regular tent. Okay, there's no padding. We did not understand the concept that you should probably clear the floor before you put the tent up. So we put a tent on top of like a bed of rocks. So like it was so bad. So then when we slept at night, we were literally sleeping on rocks. Like it was the worst, most uncomfortable feeling ever. Like we had sleeping bags, but we were on sleeping bags on rocks. And most of us didn't sleep in the sleeping bags because it was summer. It was like 95 degrees out. Who wants to be in a sleeping bag in 95 degrees out, right? So it was kind of like we kind of tried to use the sleeping bags as like cushion or whatever. It was terrible. And we didn't have any what's it called, like what do you call those things, the citronella candles, the things that ward away bugs. We had bug spray, like we sprayed bug spray on ourselves, but we didn't have like the candles and stuff. There were bugs everywhere. I literally came out of that night with like 50 million mosquito bites. It was so bad. Like it was just terrible. So I did go camping once, but I don't want to count that as camping because that was a terrible time. But yes, I visited a campsite. I didn't technically camp, if you want to be very specific. What Tempest says, but yeah, it became dark 30. Big fire protect. I'm going to have so much fun next time we go camping. Oh please, Corey, no. He's gonna no. Saskatchewan wearing a Swatch watch. You're gonna make me so scared to camp, Corey. I swear to God. Let's see. Hart says Iris Collect Petite line from A-Zone are super cute. They are. And that's the one I have. I have a Kano. Going back to the whole dolls topic. I have a Kano from A-Zone, the winter collection version. You could watch the video on my channel. It's somewhere on the unboxing video. And her face up is gorgeous. She's absolutely beautiful. She talked to me like the minute I saw her, and I went head over heels over her. But yes, the Iris Collect collection is absolutely gorgeous. They do a phenomenal job on those dolls. But again, when it comes to anime collaboration dolls, I feel like they dropped the ball. Like their heart's not in it. Like they're kind of just doing it just to do anime collabs so they can get some money and cash in on that, as Volks is doing. But in all honesty, their bread and butter, their best dolls that they ever made are their original characters. Their original characters are absolutely gorgeous. Anna says, doll first love, your Chitose? Yes, first love is Chitose. She was, which oddly enough is not my first doll I've ever owned. It was not a Chitose. I actually had several dolls before her. I had a, oh man, I can't even remember the doll's name. Oh my gosh. I had the Xenogears girl, the Dolphy Dream sister. What the hell was her name? She was like the pink-haired girl from Xenogears. I had her. I unfortunately sold her because I wanted to give her away to somebody else that would give her more attention than I did. But she was actually my first doll. And then my second doll was Cheryl. And then my third doll, well actually third and fourth doll because they came together, was Mirai and Kizuna from Smart Doll. Cosmos was the silver-haired girl. The other girl was the one I had, the one with the pink-haired. And then Chitose was my fifth doll that I got. Right? Was she fifth? No, she actually wasn't fifth. I think I got Rin from Idolmaster before I got Chitose. So Chitose was like my fifth or sixth doll. But she is definitely my 100% favorite, most prized possession in my collection. And I have like 30 plus dolls. So, yeah. I have a lot of dolls, which I've talked about many, many times in a bunch of different episodes that I need to like calm down and like start selling some of my dolls because I just have way too big of a collection and I feel guilty because I have a lot of dolls that a lot of people in the doll community would love to have. And I love having these dolls. Like, I am a collector. But I feel really bad because I feel like Cheryl and Chitose get all of the attention in my collection. They go out everywhere with me. They get all the good clothes go to them. And I feel bad because my other dolls, they don't get as much love and attention as the two of them. They really don't. And I know that there are people out there that would love to have some of my other dolls that I have and give it so much more love and attention than I do. You know, and I feel bad because I feel like those dolls deserve to be with those owners. Like those people that would give the dolls so much more love and attention than I have time for, because most of my love and attention goes to Chitose and Cheryl. So I do feel bad being a collector in some ways, because I like having these dolls as a collector and building my collection, so to speak. But I feel bad because I know that there are some people out there that would definitely give some of my dolls more love and attention than I have time for. So in some way, shape, or form, that like, even though I'm growing my collection by buying new dolls every now and again, if I were to sell any of my dolls, it's kind of like, I know this sounds really, really bad to say this. I feel guilty saying it, but I feel like if I were to sell any of my prized possession dolls, it's like I would have to do an interview. It's kind of like an adoption interview. So what makes you a good candidate to buy this doll? Like, will she get all your love and attention? Is she going to be the only doll in your collection? Because here's the thing about me, is that I don't want to be that person that's like a scalper and be like, well, I'll sell you this doll, but right now she's really hard to find, and the cheapest price I found on eBay was like $2,000, so I'll sell you for $2,000. No. If I'm going to sell my dolls, I'm going to sell them the same price that I bought them for. I will sell them at retail, but it has to be to the right person, because I don't want to sell my prized possession doll that I love, obviously not as much as Chitose and Cheryl, but nonetheless part of my collection. I don't want to sell it to somebody at retail that's just going to turn around and be like, hey, I got this doll on retail, scalper time, and then sell her for like triple the price, like on eBay somewhere. Like that would infuriate me. So like if I were to sell any of my dolls in my collection just so I can pare it down and buy new dolls, it would have to go to somebody that I personally know, that I know can vouch will really look after and take care of the doll the way that the doll needs to be, or the doll should be treated. Like, these dolls they are luxury items. They're not, your life does not depend on these dolls, but they do, I feel, and I know this sounds really cheesy, I feel like they do have a soul of their own. Like, I feel like they do need, and they do ask and want your attention. You know, like, I don't know how to explain it. I know it sounds creepy. I know it sounds weird to people that may be new to the hobby or not a part of the hobby and is just kind of getting into it. And you're like, oh my God, this guy is creepy. Like, he's talking like he loves his dolls. It's just yes and no. Like, it's like a weird thing. I don't know how to explain it. And I feel like only other people in the doll community could really understand. That's been in the doll community for a while. Like, these dolls are hard to get. It's almost like talking to a sneaker guy that has like year one Air Jordans. You know, talk to that guy. Talk to a sneaker guy that has year one Air Jordans in mint condition and see how he reacts and how he talks about his shoes. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I feel about it. Like, you know, talk to a person that is a car collector that has a lot of different cars, but then he has like an AE86 or he has an FD3S or something like that. You know, like, talk to those guys and then see what they say about selling their cars. Like, I kind of feel like these dolls, they need attention. They need to be looked after. They need the love. And I feel like if I were to sell one of my dolls to somebody, I would like to give them away, or not really give them away, but I would sell them at retail to somebody that I know would really love the doll. And that is my bar for selling dolls. I haven't sold one yet. Well, no, I sold one. I sold my Xenosaga, my Xenogear doll. I did sell that one. And that was my first foray into selling dolls, and after that, I've never sold a doll since. I don't know what happened to that doll. The person that I sold it to was someone I've never met before. It was through a Facebook group, and they said it's their Grail doll. They've always wanted it. You know, they gave me the whole song and dance. So it might be true. It might be 100% true, but there really is there's zero way of me knowing it's true. There's no way for me to know other than take their word for it. But they said that it was their Grail doll. They've wanted it for so long. They can't afford dolls. They would never have any other dolls. Blah blah blah. There was this whole thing. I didn't ask the questions either. This is stuff that they told me, and then I fell in love with that story. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I'll sell you the doll. I'll sell her to you for retail, which was how much she goes for, which was very cheap because back then she was only $600 retail. Well, actually, back when she was released in 2009, she was $625. I could not buy her because I got into the hobby in 2013. So I had to buy her on eBay, and I bought her for a whopping $1,200 on eBay. And I sold her for retail at $600 to this person. How crazy is that? I didn't even know what this person could have just turned around and resold her for $1,200. They literally could have done that. And, after doing that whole experience of selling a doll and knowing that that's a possibility that could have happened, I just don't sell dolls anymore. Like, I don't sell any of my dolls. Like, they just take up space, or some of them have been put back in their boxes and stored away. Like, I can't sell a doll knowing that it's going to go to a scalper. Like, that's one of my biggest fears, is because I have a lot of dolls in my collection that people would die for. And I do not want to give one away to somebody that I feel is going to just turn around and scalp it on the internet and sell it for like double the price. Like, that bothers me. And I don't want to be the scalper that sells it for double the price. Like, some people tell me, like, some people reach out to me and they're like, hey, that doll that you have, I'll give you $1,500 for her. And I clearly didn't pay $1,500 for her, but they're gonna give me $1,500, and I refuse to sell it. Like, I was just like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not selling this doll right now, because I just don't want, I don't want that happening. I like that. That's just a personal pet peeve of mine. So I'd rather keep the doll in my collection than sell the doll and have it go up on eBay at some point. Like, that's a big fear of mine. I want it to go to somebody that I know would give love to this doll and would not sell it. Like, they would just love it forever, kind of thing. And I know that's a hard bar to kind of like carry, but that's just how I feel about it, which is why I haven't sold anything. I haven't sold any of my dolls. Like, they're all still here. I only sold the one. That's it. No, I've never sold anything ever again. Sorry, that was a really long tangent, but that was just near and dear and close to my heart. Sorry for that long tangent. Sorry. Scruffy says no. So he says, I can't get rid of any. They are all characters that are a part of me. Oh, that's true. I understand that. Scruffy says dibs. I know. Listen, Corey, I know which characters of mine you have dibs on. That if, and I understand you put dibs on. If I were to ever sell any of those characters, you would be the first one on my list to get them. Okay, Corey? Like, those, because I know you've said it dozens and dozens of times. So yes, if I were to ever get rid of those specific ones, they are yours, Corey, if you want them. Okay, so Darren says, that is how the missus got to me. If you keep all these boxed up, do you really love them so much? And after the cull was over and I was down to a dozen, she decides that Sarah looks nice. Oh no, Darren, no. No. Oh man, I understand that. That hits me. It was like, that really hits me. And after the cull was over and I was down to a dozen, she decides that Sarah looks nice. No. Oh goodness. Tempest knows what Madam Minx put she and I through over that blasted icon. I heard the stories. I heard the stories. One does not simply move an icon. This is very true. Where's the meme? We should make a meme for that. One does not, like, the Lord of the Rings meme. One does not simply move an icon. because so for those of you that are watching the stream that don't know about Dolphy Dream icons, those are very hard to get, and you know, moving them or finding somebody that's willing to sell one is very difficult. It's like once they're in a collection, that's it. Like you're not really going to see them out there for sale unless it was a scalper that got their hands on it and then the scalper put it online. But those are at this point in time, when it comes to collecting dolls, they're up there with the creme de la creme of hard dolls to get. At least I feel that way. Like it's very rare you're going to see a Dolphy Dream icon posting. See, the F48 is just making up the difference. Yeah, I know. She's super cute. Thank you, Tempest. I said this before. Like I didn't know if you were okay. Like, because I know you joined the stream later. I didn't know if you were going to be okay with me saying who gifted me the doll, but I guess Cat's kind of out of the bag by your statements in chats. But yes, like Tempest is the one that gifted me this doll. So I thank you very much, Tempest. I love her a lot. Darren Ashmore says, at Tempest Tribe, recall ye, she was the one who was downing one in the first place, but those dreamy eyes grew on the wee lass. Oh my gosh. Listen, that icon is absolutely gorgeous. I would have taken it off your hands had I had the money. I did not have money for that icon. Like, because I won my icon the same time that icon was won. And I couldn't afford two icons at the same time. I just didn't have the money for it. So, like, yeah. Placebo, do you think that's how doll makers feel about every doll they ever sold? Yes and no. I think that at some point in time, in the wee distant past, that the Volks creators felt that way about their dolls. I really feel like that, because I feel like that's gotta be the way for every up-and-coming business, like a beginner business. When you start your own business, the very first products you start selling are near and dear to your heart because you made them. Like, I feel like that's kind of how it is. Like, you know, like the whole struggle that's been documented on the internet of Danny Chu creating his first doll and turning his apartment into his workshop and having people coming in and assembling dolls in his house and packaging dolls in his house, and he couldn't take baths in his house because that's where all the storage was. Like, when you go through the struggles of building a doll or making a thing, any type of thing that you create, I feel that when you sell them and you let them go, you can only pray and hope that they go to a place that, you know, will find love and attention. You know, like I assume that they think that these dolls that they send out into the world don't end up being like your typical Barbie that has black permanent marker on it for giving it eyeline, or like, you know, markers for giving it nail polish, and then being on the floor, hair disheveled, naked on the carpet somewhere in the living room. Because that's how every Barbie ends up in a young girl's hands. I know this because I grew up in a family full of girls. Out of my whole family, I am the only boy amongst my immediate family and my extended family. Like cousins, all my cousins are girls. All my cousins are girls. And my siblings, I have a sister. My aunts are all girls. Obviously, they're all girls. I have only aunts. My two uncles that I have, they live so far away, I never really ever see them. Like, I don't really, like, my relationship with my uncles is just, like, almost nothing, because, not that I don't love them, like, they're my family, but it's just, I never see them. I never see them enough to build a relationship with them. Like, we don't hang out, we don't talk, they're so far away, I never see them. I have one cousin that's a boy, but he was born later in life. Like, I was already in my 20s when he was born. So, like, and he also lives so far away from me. So I've never met him in person, ever. Like, so I don't really know him. So I always grew up with girls. Everyone around me was female. Maybe that really explains a lot why I play with dolls now. I don't know. But every doll, every Barbie, every doll that my cousins and my sisters have owned has at one point ended their life naked and disheveled on the floor somewhere in the living room or in a bedroom. And I feel like that's like the fear of every doll maker. Like they don't want their dolls end up being like that. And I feel like that's the way with every doll that was made by hand by a person. But when you become a big company like Volks, I don't think that the creators feel that way anymore. Like the big CEO, like Mr. Shigeta. I don't doubt his love for the hobby, but I also don't think that he has that same attachment to every single doll that is mass produced and sent out of the factories. There's no way. I feel like he would only feel like that for like the limited edition dolls that are given away as a lottery during Dolpas. Because I feel like those dolls, those one-off dolls, he probably had a hand in creating or curating at least. Probably. Maybe. Or at least one of his immediate family that runs the business. Because every single member of that family runs a specific part of that whole business. So, like, I feel like those people probably have some kind of affinity of selling their dolls. And I feel like Danny Chu probably feels that same way with his first couple of dolls that he sold. I don't know if he still feels that way about every single doll that leaves his store, but I know that he definitely feels that way for, very particular dolls. That's as far as I'll say. I don't want to say anything more because it's not for me to say story-wise. Like, I'll leave that to Danny to say that himself, but I'm pretty sure he has quite a number of dolls that he has very fond emotional attachment to. Darren says Sarah romantic glance over all fight me. What is this? What? No. Sarah, okay, hold on, Darren. Okay, wait a minute. I Okay, so Sarah romantic glance over all fight me? Dude, okay, wait, hold on. Are we talking over all the icons? Or are we talking over all dolls in existence? Because I will fight you on that. Like if we're talking about all dolls in existence, nah, bro. Like, I understand that it's subjective. It 100% is subjective. So maybe to you, I'm sure Sarah romantic glance above all. But for me, for my personal preference, it's Chitose overall. Like, it's my Smartell Chitose, hands down, overall. I will die on a hill for that one. But I understand your meaning behind it. Tempest says romantic glance in vinyl has too thick eye walls for light to properly enter the eye. Yes, that is true. Because I also have a romantic glance Dolphy icon. I am very lucky to have two icons. So I do have the lilac romantic glance. And as beautiful as she is, man, I can't see her eyes. Like, her eyes might as well be closed. Like, they might as well just have her like in a sleeping kind of like doll, like with the eyes closed. Really, you can only see her eyes if you have her posed above you and she's looking down at you and you're looking up at her. And then you could see her eyes through the eyelashes and you could see the sparkle in her irises. Then, she looks amazing. In any other photos, she just kind of looks like she's half sleeping in a way, or just fully asleep, depending on the angle. But yes, I do agree with Tempest on that. It's really hard to kind of really appreciate her eyes because it's just so hard to get light in there because it's so dark and it's so like covered. Tempest Darren says Tempest Drive, so you have chosen the death. Eye glove has been thrown. The moment you next step off of Tokyo, I'm stepping up with intent. Oh my god, we're having a literal fight in chat, people. Like, what's going on? There it says Mr. Shigeta, he has more love for his planes. His daughter is the doll Meister. Well, I know that, like, so the legend goes. Okay, let's start it this way. I don't want to say the story goes because I don't actually know the real story. So let's say the legend goes, or legend has it, that Mr. Shigeta, this part is fact. Mr. Shigeta started his business with model toys, like model planes, like tanks, all that kind of stuff, trains, whatever. the legend goes that his wife wanted to make a doll line. I don't know if this is true, but like his wife wanted the doll line, and then hence Super Dolphy was born. And then the rest of his family kind of like work in the in the business. Like his son, what's his son's name again? I forgot his first name, but his son runs, I think it's his youngest son, runs the Volks USA here in America. I think he's like the head person for Volks USA. I think one of his daughters, right? Because I think he has multiple daughters, right? Well, but one of his daughters runs Tenshino Sato, right? Like she's like the person that's in charge of like all design aspects and clothing for Volks, I think, right? Or something like that. I mean, I could be wrong. Like I'm just saying, legend has it. Like I don't know the actual story. But I what I'm trying to get at as the point of my whole story about that is just the fact that like I think that if you create something with your own hands and you make it with your hands, as opposed to you have a factory that makes things for you, I think there's a different attachment to something you made with your bare hands than something that is mass produced out of a factory. That was the point of the discussion I was trying to like really gear towards. I've never created a damn thing in my life. I don't know how to create anything other than my kids. And that's not even me. My wife did the majority of the work, like almost all the work. Like I had a very small part in that. But the birds and the bees aside, I've never really made anything. Like I've worked as a mechanic, I've installed things, but that doesn't really count as making things. The only thing I've really made is a model kit or built a Lego kit, but even that I didn't make. Like there's instructions, there's parts, and I just followed the instructions. But I think that something that you have made from scratch, that you made by hand, I feel like that probably has some kind, and I'm only speculating because I've never done it. I've never made anything from nothing. I just assume that is something that you're very attached to, that when you let it out into the world, you have a sense of loss in a way, and you only hope that wherever it ends up in life, that it has a good home. That's my assumption. But I honestly don't know how it feels because I've never created anything, again, other than having a small hand in creating my kids. But I've never created anything in my life. I'm trying to think of anything I've made from scratch. Like no, I've never made anything. I think. Okay, the closest I can come to was I've made a full trunk enclosure from one of my cars. Because for those of you that don't know, I used to be a huge car guy. Think Fast and the Furious. That was me. And I built my own trunk stereo system. So like I built my own box, my subwoofers. I did a lot of fiberglassing. I did plexiglass work, and I built a whole enclosure in my trunk. And you know, I entered into car shows. I never won, but I did enter into car shows. And I think that trunk enclosure that I did is probably the only thing I've ever made by hand from scratch. Like there was no instruction manuals to that. I just built a thing. I never sold it though. It got dismantled when I sold the car and went in the garbage. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I've never really sold and I never really made anything and sold anything like by hand. Yeah. I don't know. So I can only guess. Darren has said, pick your hill, boss. Okay. Roof of the Akiba Volks Tower. I've been on that roof. Okay. And, it's scary up there, man. Like, it's scary up there. Like, you're high up, and man, those bars that they put up there on that roof, you could fit a person through those bars. I'm just saying, it's scary up there. Don't go up there. Darren says, hey, more or less confirmed about the Shigeta clan. Okay, so like I kind of like in the right neighborhood. Okay, so yeah, that's my understanding of like how like the whole Shigeta thing works in the family. But Scruffy says PB&J, like the sandwich, like peanut butter and jelly. Wait, why are we talking about PB&J? Unless PB&J means something else. I'm thoroughly confused now, Corey. But yeah, I mean, we went on a huge tangent, and that's because I let chat dictate my stream, which is okay. I love talking to chat. But the whole point of today's stream is this doll, this very lovely doll that's been sitting here, not getting any attention for the past like 45 minutes. I think we need to get back to her. So what we're going to do is I will answer. I should have been doing this all along. I will answer more questions for anybody that wants to talk in chat. And while we do that, I'm going to redress her back up because I want to show you what she looks like all dressed up, because she already had her gown on and everything when I showed you in the beginning, but she didn't have her hair. So let me get her back together, and then I'll pay attention to chat. So like if you guys want to talk about anything else or have any other questions, we could do that. And while I'm doing that, we'll do the table view so you guys can watch along while I'm dressing her, and chat can kind of like go off and do it. So, you haven't made a PB&J? Okay, I've made a PB&J, okay, but I didn't make the bread. I didn't make the peanut butter nor the jelly. So I you know, it's the same thing as building a Lego or like a model kit, is it not? Like I didn't make anything from scratch. Like it was just kind of all bought pieces. Like I understand that sometimes when you made things, some things you can't buy. Like for instance, with magnets for you guys, you don't make the magnets in-house. You know, you kind of like get the parts and then you make something out of it, right? So I understand what you're saying, but I feel like taking that into account, I don't think that making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is akin to making a portrait of something or a doll. I equate that more so to making something like a Lego or a model kit. Like you're kind of just assembling something, you know, as with existing parts, so to speak. Whereas the only thing I could say that I made is probably that trunk enclosure. So I didn't make the tree and then make the bark, but I did get wood pieces. I did make the fiberglass enclosure all by myself with fiberglass and resin and all that stuff, and I sanded it all down and I painted it, and I did carpet. I carpeted it and glued it together and all that kind of stuff. Oh, you know what I don't have for her? She doesn't have panties. I have to get her panties. Oh man. They're locked away in storage. Okay, well, I'll have to get panties for her later. From my storage, and then put panties on her. And she doesn't have a bra. She needs a bra. I know we've had this discussion on my channel many a times, but all my dolls have underwear on. They all do. Like they have to. In my opinion, like all my dolls have to have underwear. I don't own or have a doll that does not have underwear on. They all do. Even though it's highly unnecessary because they're not people. Like they don't have hygiene issues like real people do, so they don't need it. But I don't know. It's thematic. I feel like they deserve to have underwear on. I want to treat them like the children that they are. They are my children. Long day, gotta log off. Have a nice night, everyone. Yeah, Corey, I was about to say, this is pretty late for you. I know you have an early start tomorrow morning, so have a good night, and you can watch the rest of us later on the VODs. But thank you for coming, Corey and Anna. Thank you for coming. So I really appreciate it. Today's stream is actually a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. And it's more so because I've had a lot of interaction with chat today. There's a lot said. So we got to get this. We got a dress on. Now we got to do the hand thing again. The scary hand thing. Ooh, I still get nervous about this. But I am starting to kind of get a feel for it. Okay. We got the claw. Hook. Okay, we're gonna put that in. Dress her up real nice. Just don't let the hook get caught in anything. Come on. We're doing it. There we go. Okay. On the hand. You know what? While I'm doing this, guys, I have another set of hands. Maybe I should change the hands to these hands. Let's try it. Like, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. Like, we're here, you know, might as well. Let's see what these other hands kind of look like. Let's try these on for size. Oh, yeah. You know these hands have been sitting on that shelf for a long time when the adhesive, like, just does not come off. Like, it's literally stuck to the plastic. Which, to be fair, that's what, like, I feel like that's everything in Japan. Am I the only one that thinks that way? Like, it's like, I feel like here in America, like, things don't last on the shelf very long. So most of the things on the shelf is kind of new. But I feel like in Japan, like, sometimes there are things that may have been on the shelf for a long time. And, like, you could definitely tell it's been on the shelf for a long time. Am I the only one that thinks that way? Or is it only because I've been hunting for things in Mandarake and I feel that way? So here we go. Here. You could see it. You see it right here. Look at it. Oh, does it come up on camera? I could definitely see it in person. But this new hand is way whiter than this one. Like, this one's more yellow. This one's more yellow. Can you see it on camera? I don't know if it comes out on camera very well. But yeah, this new one is way whiter. But it's not like it's so crazy white that it doesn't match. Like, I still feel like this matches. So I'm going to switch the hand. I'm going to go and put this back in. There we go. There we go. Yeah. It's a little bit whiter. You could definitely tell now. But I'm going to change one of the hands because I want to do like different poses. So I think one hand like this would be nice. And then one hand with the spread hands would be nice. So I'm going to keep one hand with like this and the other one the other way. So we got one in. Yay! We got one hand in. Okay, so we're going to do the other one. I'm going to try to get it on camera so you guys can kind of see. Hold the ball joint. Comes through and then move it off to the side. There we go. And then we are going to put... Oh no. Oh no. Hold on. We got to put the dress up a little bit more or else it won't go on properly. There we go. There we go. Put this in. Whoa. What'd I do with the arm? There we go. Put this in here. Ooh, I could see the hook poking out. No. Don't get it stuck on the fabric. That would be bad. Okay, there we go. There we go. We got the little captain's hook. Put this on here. Okay. And then, oh. There we go. There we go. Now your hand's in. Okay. So we're getting her dressed. She's looking good. Looking good there. She's a little cutie. Man, I still, like, as I'm dressing her, she's so gorgeous, and I still can't come up with a name. I kind of feel like only because she's wearing this outfit, I kind of feel like she needs, like, a Victorian name. Like Victoria or something. I don't know. Like what's a good Victorian name? Like, I feel like she kind of needs, like, a Victorian type name. I don't know. Maybe it's just the outfit that's giving me those vibes, you know? Like, maybe I just need to think of a different, like, outfit set, and maybe it would give me different vibes about her. But she looks so cute in this kind of outfit. Like, I feel like she deserves a frilly dress. Like, I don't know. And it's not because she came with a frilly dress. She just looks like the type of doll that would, like, look good in, like, a gown or something. Like some kind of time period piece. Okay. We got her back of the dress all buttoned up. Now she looks good. Now she looks good. Oops. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. Just make sure all the joints are facing the right way. Okay. And then she's always doing the robot for some reason. She likes doing that pose. She's like, it's time for the robot. Oh no, I got it caught in the hand. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this one does not I must have done something. It's constantly bent. It does not want to go straight. Oh, there we go. Now we got it to lock straight. Okay. There we go. Yay. I mean, it doesn't have to be straight. I just wanted to make sure that was in the right, facing the right position. Okay. So now she's dressed. She's in her outfit. She looks cute. And we now have to put on her hair. So how are we going to do this? See if we can get this on camera. Put on her hair. Now, she has this wig that Tempest gave me. It's like this orange. This bright orange wig. So we're going to try to put this on. Now, normally what I would do when putting on wigs is I would take the doll's head off. It's just easier to do it with the head off. But now that the head's on the doll, and because of the elastics, I can't just pop it off like a vinyl head. I'm just going to try to put it on. And doing this on camera is hard. Like, doing this normally is not so easy. It's not so hard. But, like, trying to get this captured on camera while doing it is a little... Okay. So there we go. I think I got it on right. Oh, she's gorgeous. Look at her. Look at her. With her hair. Isn't she cute? She's got drill hair. She's got the drill hair. Let me, hold on. Let me change. You can see it here. The very bottom. She's got like the little curls. It's like straight, but like the bottom has like these little curls. And then there she is. This is a much better quality. The table camera is not as good quality, but the main camera is it's a 4K camera, so you get much better quality out of this. And the lighting is better in front of this camera. She's cute. She's so cute. Look at her. She's gorgeous. Oh, I like her. Now, she comes with this thing. I don't know what it is, but we're going to try it out. So let's try it out. Because I honestly don't know. She came with a headband. Like some kind of headband. And what happened to the music? The music just kind of stopped. Out of nowhere. There we go. We got like a little music in the background. She came with this. So it's like a rabbit ears. She came with rabbit ears for her head. So I don't know if this is a headband or is this like a waist. Tempest, help me out here. Like, I don't know what, like, this is a headband, right? Like, I feel like it's a headband. If I put it on, because that looks a little, right? Like, if I put it, that doesn't look right. I feel like that doesn't look right. Like, if I put this on like this, is that the way that goes? It is a headband. Okay, so how do you put this on? I'm so lost with this headband. Okay, so, okay, now you have straight hairs. I'm sorry, I messed you up. Your hair's going everywhere. All right, so if I do, I'm sorry, I don't know if I can capture this with the camera, with the way the camera angles, but I have to sit her up. If I put her in a headband like this, and then tie it behind her hair. It's her. Alright, I tied it. I very loosely tied it, but I tied it. So I don't know if this is how it's supposed to go, but okay, let's go on the back to the main camera. It's a top, so it shows the bangs. Did I do this right? Because I feel like I didn't. I feel like I didn't do this right. Oh, see, there's the resin part about it. She's just totally. Oh no! Everything came off with the headband. Her hair came off. Hold on. Hold on. Let me fix this. So yeah, so she came to life, J. Louisa. She decided when I decided to pick her up that she was gonna do an ab crunch, and she like face planted into my hand there. Luckily into my hand and not into the camera or the microphone. But she did just face pan. Okay. Put on her hair. Okay, her hair's on. She looks good. She looks cute. Okay, and then I'm gonna put this headband back on, but I have to untie this and redo it. Never skip core day. That's good advice. That's definitely good advice. You should never skip core day. But, you know, this doll did. She definitely skipped core day. I don't know how to do this without the wig moving along with it. Like, I feel like I need someone else to hold it in place while I tie this. I am not ambidextrous enough to do this. Okay. Okay. Alright, I tied it. Alright, so... Okay, we don't want to ab crunch right now. Alright? This is not the time to ab crunch. Okay, we're going to put you in front of the camera, and we're going to see how you look. So here she is. I got it on. Here's the ears. I guess we could just have them flop forward. There she is. With her little headband. She's so cute. I don't know if I did the headband right, but there you go. She's got her bangs showing and everything. You could kind of flop the ears down, and then it just kind of looks like this. But if I kind of push it up, there's no wire in here, so that's why it's very floppy. But yeah, if there were wires in it to kind of have it like a pose or something, that would be better. But it's kind of like just regular fabric. But she's so cute. What do you guys think? I think she's adorable. Thank you, Tempest. She's so cute. Our ears are flopping. But yeah, this is her. This is my new resin doll. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. There was a lot of tangents today, but if you really want to just focus on only the doll parts, I would say watch the first hour of the stream or like first hour, and then like the second hour of the stream was all tangents. It's all talking about a whole bunch of tangents in chat, which was so much fun. But if you're only here for the doll, I would say watch the first hour of this stream and then watch the last half hour of the stream. But she's so cute. Now she's got like one ear up and one ear down. Like it's like a floppy eared. Okay, I guess we can have one ear back and one ear front like that. She's like... She's so cute. Aww. Well, this is my new doll. And thank you everybody for joining me on today's adventure of what it means to learn about resin dolls. So I don't think... You know, honestly, I don't think I've done an exhaustive review on a doll like this for even vinyl. I don't even think I did that with my vinyl dolls. But this is like my first time personally handling a resin doll. So I am learning this today with you guys for the first time. And she needs shoes. I need to go find her shoes. I'm pretty sure I have something in my collection that will fit her. But yeah. Super cute. She's so gorgeous. I usually take a lock on the hair on the right and left side and then put that in front and tie the headband. Oh. Yeah, I guess I could do that too. That works. Thank you for the advice. I think I will do that. I'll do it off stream though. But yeah. She looks so cute. What do you guys think? I think she's gorgeous. She's so gorgeous. I am a very happy first owner of a resin doll. So this is my little cutie, SDF48. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's stream. I need help with a name. So if people want to put in the comment section down below of what you guys think would be a good name for her, because I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, she's super cute, but I can't just pin a name. Like, I don't know what she looks like to me. She could be a Vicky for Victoria, maybe, but I don't know. I don't think so. You know what she could be? She could be a Penelope. She looks like a Penelope. I want to say Clarice too, but then that just reminds me of Silence of the Lambs. So I don't know if I could do that. I can't do that to her. She's very doughy-eyed, like OG Princess Knight. Yeah, she kind of is. She is she is very doughy-eyed for sure. I kind of like. No, I think Penelope sounds pretty good. I don't know. What do you guys think? Put it down in the comment section down below because that's where it'll be saved. If you put it in live chat, I don't know if anyone else can really see the live chats. I think comments will be easier. So if you guys can help me out with a name for her, just put it in the comment section at the bottom of this video down below. And, I'll see if anything kind of jives with her if I like them. But I could probably use some help with thinking of some names for her. But she's super cute. Just bounce, bounce, bounce like a bunny. Okay, well, thank you everybody for watching today's stream. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you found it very informative if you're new to the hobby or if you're just new to the resin side of things. Like if you've been following my channel for basically just vinyl and only vinyl, today's episode might be informative for you. Even if you don't plan on ever buying a resin doll, I think just knowing about them and a little bit about them, having some knowledge couldn't hurt, right? Just knowing and kind of learning. But thank you, everybody, for joining me for today's episode. And with my new doll yet to be named, I'm kind of scared to like not hold her at her waist so she doesn't ab crunch. But my mouse is on the other side of the table, so I'm gonna have to like kind of switch hands. I'm gonna switch hands because I have to change scenes for the ending of this video. Okay, so yeah, thank you everybody for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you, Tempest, very much for letting me adopt this doll, I guess you could say. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks everybody in chat for participating and helping me out and giving me some good advice about these dolls. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys. Oh, that's a good thing to say. I don't know if I'm going to stream at the normal time on Friday because the Friday for the Doll Symposium, the live stream is on 4th of July. And I think everybody is pretty much going to be celebrating with family and friends on 4th of July. So I'm going to try to see if I can stream the day before on Thursday night. I will try to stream, which is out of the ordinary, and I never really ever do that. But it's like, I don't want to stream on the night of the 4th of July, which is our normally scheduled night, just because no one's going to be there. I mean, I could still stream it and just talk to myself, but like, I know that you international people don't really care about 4th of July because it's not your holiday, but I think most of my American viewers are probably not going to be on. So just a heads up, I might try and stream it on Thursday, the day before. Or I can't do it the day after because I already have plans the day after. So I'm going to try my best to get it on that Thursday before the 4th of July. So July 3rd, I will stream that night. So just want to give you guys that heads up for those of you that, are my regulars that always watch. I think it should be fine for Thursday. But yes, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of the Doll Symposium. Take care. Bye now.
Summertime.